Big Sean has dropped another album. So you know what that means. Time to talk about Kendrick. Welcome to the timeline. So a lot has happened. I had assumed after talking for 45 minutes people would be cool with my video being over. Turns out I was incorrect. So many people DM me on Twitter and make comments about information I missed or information I ignored for the sake of time. Like one person said, everyone knows that this started back in 2013. Like, damn, man, you want me to go all the way back to fucking Control? Like, it's going to be a timeline of the events from pretty much from the end of the beef all the way up to the Super Bowl halftime show. First thing I want to talk about is the narrative at the beginning of the beef versus now at the end. Bro, all these Drake fans are out here like, woe is me. We never stood a chance. Kendrick with the pedophile route. How is this fair? Of course Kendrick was going to win. And this is a major thing I wanted to bring up, and I was going to make a whole video on this. But I am so happy that someone else did. WRI channel showed how before Euphoria, however, was saying Kendrick was taking too long.
No, I don't think Kendrick's cooking up. It don't take him 3-4 weeks.
Kendrick was going to lose.
I think still through all of this, we find out that all of this Candyman, Boogeyman shit that your generation kind of dubbed Kendrick. Y'all just kind of ran and thought that Kendrick was this bully that ran through the industry and nobody wanted to battle.
Kendrick drops in a short amount of time that it took for Drake to make push-ups, and Kendrick was still being doubted. Literally the whole time. Even after Euphoria, people still doubted him.
Drake is definitely winning from an MC standpoint.
The NPR podcast said Euphoria didn't deliver new news.
I kind of feel a bit underwhelmed. I'm sensing a little bit of fear from Kendrick. So? If you're going to take this much time to formulate something, I was expecting more.
Look, man, if Kendrick is bringing up problems that people have said about Drake, maybe he's bringing them up because they're legitimate problems. Pusha T has everyone thinking now that every beef has to have some deep underlying secret that comes out, that is now what a rap beef is. And salacious information is always entertaining. But to me, what makes a good diss track is how convincing is the shit that you're saying and how nice can you make it sound. And Kendrick makes it sound quite nice. It really wasn't even until Meet the Grams that stuff started turning. Even though Euphoria was eating his ass out, shout out to Crooked Eye for being real.
Really peeped all them double entendres and all them pattern switches and all them metaphors and punchlines for you to come up and say, yo, that's corny.
The media said it was underwhelming. So Kenny went, okay, fine. Here's Meet the Grams. Here's Not Like Us. Ak is over here blaming the radio and stuff. Bro, you played the song. You liked the song. You were over here bobbing your head to the song. The Dodgers just won the World Series. Of course the song was getting play. Then we got Lil Yachty in a deleted podcast saying Drake was deemed a loser before it even started.
But also, let's be fair, Drake was deemed a loser in this battle before it started.
Bro, fucking no. Literally everyone was calling Kendrick out. And now that Drake's lost and it's been so convincing, like in such a convincing way, everyone's saying, oh, well, there's nothing he could have been done. And I disagree fully. Shit. I even agree with Joe Budden on this.
Fuck you niggas. Don't come in here and turn it up. He was fighting to lose-lose. Because he didn't say none of that shit when he was outside talking that shit.
He didn't, okay.
He made it a lose-lose.
He lost.
Another thing that I'm sort of struggling with is, was this all planned? Like, was Kendrick's, not on like Drake's side, but like, did Kendrick plan to go to beef with Drake? Has Kendrick been trying to piss Drake off for a long time, or is Drake just actually stupid enough to get chipped by a throwaway verse? On Kendrick's America Has a Problem verse, he put forth something that could be seen as some Drake disses, you know? That's just how Kendrick raps, man. If you ask Kendrick for a feature and he hops on your verse, he's just gonna talk shit. Think about Control. I don't think Kendrick is gonna waste a long introspective verse on his features. He seems to save that stuff for his own projects. Let me give you a third example. Isaiah Rashad has a song with Kendrick on his album On the Sun's Tirade. And on that song, Isaiah Rashad is his friend. And he, 100% just shouts, I'm the best rapper alive, and anyone who disagrees is a fucking lie.
I told them I'm the best rapper since 25. Been like that for a while now, I'm 29. Any nigga that disagree is a fucking lie.
That's just how he talks on throwaway verses. Now on the Like That song, Kendrick does the same thing. He talks a big shit. I mean, it's literally a Metro Boomin album. It's not like it's a rapper's album. But the things that make me struggle with this is that then you got parts of like America Has a Problem where he says 9/11 slider.
PG Lane collar, 911 slider.
Which of course could be the Porsche 911, but also he dropped Watch the Party Die on 911. And then you learn also that Kendrick was supposed to be on First Person Shooter, and he turns it down. And then Drake turns First Person Shooter into pretty much a fucking tour. He goes on tour with Jcole and turns into a whole fucking tour. And then he just had to sit at home and watch these guys hug on Twitter every night. Then there's also the rumor that on Hillbillies, Kendrick is making fun of Drake's flow on Sticky.
Bring them girls to the stage, messy, get them girls off the stage.
So he literally could have been cooking this up for a while. However, I don't know. The report is that all these diss songs came from one session.
I got an exclusive for y'all. Do y'all know all the shit y'all heard so far was one session?
So my thought is he released like that, knew it would be a nice moment for the culture. Maybe we get some people going, you know, it's provocative. But then Drake jumped out of his sneakers and dissed Kendrick. So then Kendrick hopped in the studio, recorded at least these 4 songs and possibly 5 more. If you ask 50, he'll say Kendrick planned this.
He has the ability to make you believe he had no idea this was going to happen. Like, I look at him and I go, nah, you can't do that to me.
Okay, so here are some diss songs that I did not mention. Sorry to the Yuno Miles fans out here. He did drop a diss, obviously goated.
Kendrick Lamar, Drake, Kendrick Lamar, Drake, Kendrick Lamar, Drake.
This is actually so funny. I had over 1,000 comments on my last video. I went through them all. Not a single person mentioned the fact that I completely forgot about Rick Ross. In 2024, now 2025, there are more Yuno Miles fans than Rick Ross fans. Rick Ross did drop his diss in a very Rick Ross fashion, opulent bar as he was slapping the white boy line.
White boy, I see you.
What I think might be the most valuable part to what Rick Ross said not even during his diss, he said that Sicko Mode had a ghostwriter and we didn't even know who it was.
Who wrote this? Guess who wrote this? You would never guess who wrote this.
Sci-Hi the Prince is credited on that song, so I think it's possible maybe he has a bigger picture than we thought. We do know that he helped write Travis's verse. But Sci-Hi also works for Kanye, so it's possible Kanye could have even written that verse. But I think if Kanye wrote that verse for Drake, Kanye would mention it every 4 seconds, especially a song as popular as Sicko Mode. So jury's still out on this. There was an AI song that came out called Hi Whitney.
Hi Whitney. Hi Whitney. Won't you come over, girl, get high with me.
I think it's AI. I don't know if it's AI or not. But Drake should have gone with this one instead of Family Matters. I like Family Matters a lot, but Family Matters immediately goes the woman beater angle instead of the I fucked your bitch angle, which I think is personally a better angle. Drake should have paid whoever made that Hi Whitney song, cleaned it up, rewrapped it, and put that out as another diss. There's also a claim that Drake's red button is still out there and that it wasn't Family Matters. But if beating bitches wasn't your red button, I really don't know what's next. And after Not Like Us, if you didn't press the red button, you're showing a lot more trigger discipline than I've known you to have. Oh, and Drake's supposed daughter. I've yet to find any more additional information on this other than some tweets.
You and I know I was good to you. This is how you treat them dusty, thirsty bleep bleeps that be on your bleep bleep bleep. From there, there's just all kinds of screenshots. It's so messy.
Women claiming that they had his daughter or whatever. I had a YouTube comment mention this, talking about that there were sealed files on it about the daughter. I could not find any more additional information. So could have a daughter, could not have a daughter. My bet on this one is like 70-30. Kanye, bro. Kanye was tweeting and we all thought he was on Kendrick's side until he said I was the last person to watch Kendrick on a song. Yeah, my fault. You're on Kanye's side, Kanye. Ye did the Like That remix.
Yo, Dot, I got you.
The most important part about this song to me is where Kanye brings up, where's Lucien? Serve your masters, nigga.
Where's Lucien? Serve your master, nigga.
Lifetime deal. I feel bad for niggas.
Time deal. I feel bad for niggas.
And what's great about this diss is that all that shit he was talking about Kendrick, about his deal, when Kanye said this, Drake hadn't mentioned anything else about Kendrick's deal. Completely stopped mentioning Kendrick. I also think that J. Cole should diss Kanye and we should get something going there. He said, play J. Cole, get the pussy dry.
Play J. Cole, get the pussy dry.
J. Cole Jcole should for sure go at Kanye. He's been fucking disrespectful for too long. I mean, now that Jcole's apologized to like Kendrick, he'd never really go into beef again. He can never like say, oh yeah, well this guy got me angry. Even the Dominicans were getting in on this. They dropped the song El BBL. Now that I've finished talking about stuff from the last video, the last thing we left off on was the Heart Part 6, which had been added to streaming platforms and whatever. Those have now been removed from such platforms. Drake removed them from his Twitter, and he is trying to pretend none of those ever existed. Drake's house gets shut up. It appears to be a Weeknd and XO fling. I didn't really know Canadians even got down like that, especially singing Canadians. Really quick, May 8th, Okliar website. There's a website that was like trying to say that Kendrick abused somebody. It puts out a YouTube video and stuff. The highest level of veritability of these claims is that they're just a rumor. And then the lowest level, or mainly the level that everyone is going at right now, is that this just isn't true completely. This website was made by someone in New York. Rumor is that it was certified Jared, and that since he was the first person to post about it and talk about it. Okay, all right, let's talk about Ebony Prince 2K24. If I'm being honest about Mr. Prince, I think he's just an annoying clout chaser. I think he is an annoying OVO bird brain that was a Drake fan turned Drake enemy. He tweets exactly how I would imagine a stan to tweet. He's constantly tweeting fucking nonsense literally every 2 seconds. He seems to be a black guy, or at least pretending to be a black guy that's aligned with a lot of like red pill nonsense based on his tweets. Ebony Prince is this Riddler type character that appeared once Drake had decided to make the claim that the items Kendrick used were stolen, yet at the same time he wants us to believe that he planted them to Kendrick, which is already kind of stupid, because if you planted the items, why would you go and claim that they're stolen? But whatever. So Mr. Prince decided to post a photo with the items and a newspaper to show that they were not planted by Drake and that he still has possession of the items. And the other thing he wanted to show is that they were not stolen, because he also posted information showing that these were items that were left behind by Drake at the Mark Hotel. Bro, this video is so crazy, man. He's using strings to hold the stuff up so you can't see his hands. He has Meet the Grams playing in the background at the same time. He was constantly tweeting clues and being mysterious as fuck. It appears that Mr. Ebony used to be a security guard at the Mark Hotel and was subsequently fired for some reason. And he says he was planning to keep the items until Drake died, which is kind of funny because it means he was literally preying on Drake's downfall, hoping he dies, or he isn't as old as he looks, because he literally looks older than Drake. The only real last piece of information that's super important about Mr. Prince is that he keeps saying that he has these tapes and this information about that night when he left the items. And he has some unsavory event that happens, and he keeps threatening Drake, and he threatened Drake and says, you have until May 13th to say these items aren't stolen, or I'm going to expose you and talk to my lawyers and blah, 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 blah. And then May 13th comes around and he's like, oh, you guys thought I was just going to give away my leverage? Yeah, dude, that's why people followed you and kept up with this dude. Like, if people commented on your posts and they weren't following you, you blocked them. So it looked to me as though he's just wasting everybody's time. Drake called his bluff. Drake said nothing about the item. All Mr. Ebony seems to really want is a bunch of attention so he can keep teasing us with this, oh, what does he know? What does he have? With all this push and pull, so he can keep his information valuable and sellable, which is why he wants Drake to say it's not stolen, because it's illegal to sell stolen items. So in my opinion, I think this guy's wasting everybody's time. He wants to be able to sell everything for like a large amount, presumably to TMZ or an organization with a lot of money, to break this story. At first, when the OVO bots saw all this stuff, they said, this is fake. How is it possible that he could have been at the Mark Hotel and get his prescription in LA at the same time? And it's like, brother, a private plane, even a non-private plane could accomplish this. Drake fans continued to look this up and try to figure out who this guy was, and they found the place where the video was taken on a waterfront property in New York, given speculation that this could have been a Kendrick burner account, because Kendrick had recently purchased a water property in New York. I tried really hard to read his tweets and get caught up on the situation, but bro, this nigga tweets every 2 seconds. It's so impossible to go through all these tweets. And I'm beginning to think it's just the ramblings of a crazy person. He says things like, I cannot be bought, and then says, oh, the items are for sale on November 9th. And for some reason, he started taking the items on a world tour, like taking them pictures of the items at different places. He even took a picture of it in front of the pop-out But the only real important information left is just that whatever's on these tapes that Ebony is hiding. My estimate, based on what I can gather here, is that something happened involving Drake or Drake's team, and I think they were told to leave or kicked out for violating a policy or being mean to a security guard or something along those lines. My guess is maybe Drake gave underage people some booze or something, because Ebony keeps making tweets about, oh, you're supposed to protect kids and stuff like that. And my thought is, because Drake was kicked out, he said, fuck it, and left the stuff there. I don't need it. Fuck it. And he has since stopped staying at that hotel. He doesn't go to that hotel anymore. I don't really want to speculate too much because Drake seems to be in a litigious mood, and I don't really have any proof about any of that, and I'm not sure. And Mr. Prince really doesn't want to give any information without a colossal payment. He's literally looking for like $1 million total. This guy is going the OnlyFans route, where he's constantly teasing every day, and he even has a fansly. And he said that once it has reached a high enough amount, he will release the documents and the videos. He's treating this like how Playboy Cardi leakers treat shit. They make a Discord, they ask for a certain amount of funds, the Discord crowd funds it, and then they pay the leaker, and the leaker gives that Discord that music that they are holding hostage. The fansly is $20.24. It has 0 likes and has no content. I was actually going to pay for it if I at least got something, but this fansly literally gives you nothing. Mr. Ebony wants 50,000 people, essentially, to pay $20 in order for him to make $1 million off this. This dude is crazy. And that's where that saga stands for now. I'll tell you for sure, Drake is going to make sure to never leave any items behind anymore. In fact, I bet money that Drake is going to hire someone now whose job it is to make sure nothing ever gets left behind again. Drake posts this like summer vibe up next kind of thing, which is funny in hindsight because I don't think Drake had a single summer hit this year, which is pretty crazy because I think he's had a hit every summer since like 2016, and this year nothing for obvious reasons. Sexy Red drops her song You My Everything. This is the first song that Drake has been a part of after the beef. I'm really not that big of a fan of it. I understand what Miss Sexy is going for, but that wasn't really my vibe. That singing wasn't really doing it for me. Drake then came in on the song, and it made me wonder if he even listened to the Kendrick disses. Like, Kendrick was making fun of you for all your plastic surgery involved events and being a body shamer, and then you made a verse about how you give out plastic surgery to girls. I just think it's funny though. I don't think it's that big of a deal. When I heard Drake on the BBL Drizzy beat, I was completely fine with it. I thought it was a good play. I thought it made him look not so butthurt about the whole situation and made him not look like a sore loser. Made me think maybe Drake isn't as insecure as I thought he was. Maybe he was gonna let this beef go. Maybe Twitter can finally go back to normal. Unfortunately, on the same day, YJ dropped his Drake diss track called Weird. He was very unhappy that Drake mentioned his name in this beef at all, especially to diss another Cali brother. And it's kind of hard to not take this as a diss when he literally says, take this as a diss. The song's fire. I'm surprised it didn't really go anywhere other than the YouTube views that it got. The Vori reference tracks get released. And it's very obvious upon listening to the tracks that Drake lifted the whole verse for mob ties from him, which is fine. That's what you pay ghostwriters for. But this shit helps with another theory I had, where I feel like Drake accidentally gets himself into beefs and tiffs because the people writing for him put shots and information that keep lining up, and everyone is too dumb to do research. This track is supposed to be a beef response to like Story of Addy Don, you know, sick of these niggas, all that stuff, right? And on this, Vori writes, sick of these niggas, sick of these bitches, hire a shooter, get rid of these niggas. And then he says, Louis bags in exchange for body bags. What you have to understand is this is mighty close to how XXX died. He had a Louis bag full of money. He went to go buy a bike, and then some folks killed him for his Louis bag. It was literally a body bag in exchange for a Louis bag. And on top of that, before X died, he said, if I die, Drake killed me.
A lot of people. That nigga tried to sacrifice me. I hate speaking on it.
So then Vori comes out and says, I'm tired of people hitting Drake with this shit that him and his label had something to do with the murder. Dude, it's your fault people even think that. You wrote the verse. There are so many other designer bag companies that you could have said, but you described his murder spot on and then got mad about it.
But he ain't write nothing, nigga.
How do you know that, nigga?
He ain't write nothing.
Nigga.
Bro,
Bro, this nigga is crazy.
bro,
He
first of
probably
all,
wrote the hook.
nigga, I'm gonna tell you why I know he ain't write shit for Drake, right? Cause most of this shit was almost like, bruh, this shit was almost like a Toronto nigga spitting, bruh. Help on Mob Ties, and I ain't gonna lie, Mob Ties was a song that I felt that was Drake with his back against the wall, and I was like, yo, Drake, if he ain't right, it felt away. Like, that would hurt my heart. Money can't take a joke. So, just truthfully, man, I was disappointed that didn't come from Drake. I was, and you know, I'm gonna be honest, it was hard to sleep for the last 2 nights. It was, cause all I kept hearing was Vori just screaming in my ear.
Drake decides to drop Gwan Delilah. When I first heard this, I thought it was 100% AI. I was like, there's no way Drake's doing this. It's just a little jokey type song. But this song is full headassery. This song is not doing anything for the Toronto accent, all right? It's literally the worst accent of all time. It's not even an accent you got from speaking another language, like the Indian accent. It's not maybe that as graceful as the British accent. However, at least the Indian person knows at least 2 languages, you know? Like the Toronto accent is just a person speaking one language terribly. Funnily enough, Kendrick made fun of the accent, saying, "Tell me your cheesin', fam."
Tell me your cheesin', fam.
And then Drake on the song sings, "I'm so cheesed." Which was making me think that maybe Drake isn't such a bad sport. And maybe he's actually quite funny. So while Drake is still fighting the Riddler because Ebony refuses to stop tweeting, Kendrick announces his Juneteenth pop-out concert, which is going to be a concert that takes place on June 19th where he's going to, perform. Kendrick's first public appearance since the end of the beef is a speech he did at the Compton College. And he really just came out and said, he's proud of all the college graduates. He claims how much he loves Compton. Personally, I think it's a good look if the first thing you do after a beef is not even to promote a song or a music video or anything. It's just you doing something for your community. So I thought that was a good move. But I'm pretty sure this was still a clapback at Drake, who was wearing a Compton College sweatshirt in one of his Instagram posts, despite not even being from California. And Kendrick made it very obvious that Compton is where he's from. Proof now has released that Kendrick pre-recorded his disses. Fucking duh. Do you think he made Meet the Grams in 45 minutes and then posted it? Like, the lack of common sense with some of these Drake posters is crazy to me. It takes longer than 45 minutes to clear a sample, let alone write a whole diss. And then they're getting on him. Could you imagine if Drake posted a pre-recorded diss? You want to know what's worse than a pre-recorded diss? Disses you didn't write. Drake's pen is in major question right now. It's even better that Kendrick pre-recorded Meet the Grams because it means he literally guessed exactly what Drake was going to do and Drake played into his hands. This is not a good look for Drake. I want people to understand this. By people, I mean OVO. The Juneteenth concert. This whole concert was a double entendre. It was insane. He was mocking Drake by wearing similar gear to him while wearing similar gear to Tupac. He even changes a line saying, "If you give Pac's rings back, I might give you some respect."
Give me Tupac ring back and I might give you a little respect.
Listening to the crowd chant the words to Euphoria was fucking crazy. They were going word for word, bar for bar. He hits DNA, he hits Element, he hits All Right, Swimming Pools, Money Trees. And Money Trees has been getting a lot of plays and a lot of acclaim recently since coming to Spotify. It's one of Kendrick's most highly played songs. So I think it was really smart to do Money Trees and bring J-Rock out. I have noticed that it is normally white people's favorite Kendrick song. He played Win, which is a J-Rock song. King's Dead, a J-Rock song. Collard Greens, a Schoolboy Q song. And Schoolboy Q had a little extra motive to be there that night, since 2 days before this, his sold-out show in Toronto was canceled. According to the cops, no one from TDE was allowed to perform. They did the That Part Black Hippie remix. They did King Kunta, which kind of confirms that, as we were always saying, King Kunta was a jab at Drake in the first place, sharing bars and all that stuff. He played Humble, his first #1 hit chart. Still Dre, they played California Love, which is kind of important to Kendrick as a song because as a kid, Kendrick actually went to the California Love music video, and I'm sure he's somewhere in the background of that video if you can find him, but he was there while it was being filmed. So it kind of has a place in his heart that he would go to that video and then get signed by Dre. What you would notice is, on this list, he played a lot of songs with features and also songs that he is featured on. And I think that this is a deliberate attempt to just bring out as many of his friends as possible that he could get up there to come out and rap. He also didn't play Meet the Grams, which I actually think was a good choice. That song scares the hoes, brothers. I think he appropriately read the room. Plus, you can't get on stage and say, you can't go out there and say, oh, this pop-out concert isn't about no beef shit, and then play one of the grimiest, meanest disses I've ever heard. There was a Drake fan theory that they were like, yeah, well, Kendrick didn't play Meet the Grams because it has fake information in it, which I think is funny as a Drake fan to tweet that and say that because what? He played Not Like Us 5 times. You're telling me that all that information in there is true? That Drake really likes him young and he's fucking little girls and stuff? Like, come on now, man. Kendrick playing Not Like Us 5 times was so crazy. He hit Drake with a pentakill. And the best part of him playing it 5 times is that building never got quieter. Everybody was singing the song the whole time. Here's what I honestly think that concert was. Kendrick realized this song is going crazy. It's beating records. It's doing everything it needs to do. And I'm not saying that Kendrick doesn't like this song, but I think we, the public, like the song more than he does. So his first real PG Lang executive move was to bring this concert together and to perform this song while changing the narrative to get away from like the beef, while at the same time putting the West Coast back on top. So he creates the pop-out concert. This will allow him to perform the song Not Like Us because the song is too big. There's no way he could not perform it, while still trying to make this a moment about like unity, and togetherness in the community. This will allow him to perform Not Like Us because the song is so big. There's no way he could not perform it. And while trying to make this moment about unity, there are many good reasons to try and unite the coast, but there are 2 that stand out to me right now. First, Kendrick is starting a label, and it appears as though he's trying to bring back the West Coast sound and a West Coast identity back. And another reason, gang unity. Not only did he bring a lot of rappers and basketball players and stuff like that, he brought up a lot of flagged up gang members. And I feel like this was more of an attempt to try and make it like, hey, this isn't just about Drake. I'm trying to do something with my community. I'm trying to bring people together. Kendrick brought out fucking everyone. YG was there. YG danced to the song, which makes Family Matters a completely unperformable song because you dropped YG, Be Walking to Your Downfall, while a pedo anthem plays about you. He brought out DeMar DeRozan, who used to be a friend to Drake, but I always suspected that there might have been some slight tension on DeMar DeRozan's side. Imagine this. You lose to Braun every year in the conference final. Braun finally goes to the other conference. You finally have a chance to win a conference final. Then Drake becomes part owner of the Raptors. And this guy, Drake, is supposed to be your friend, right? And then you get traded. And then that same year you get traded, that team wins it all. If I was DeMar DeRozan, I'd be slightly upset. This is like when you graduate and then the school finally decides to make a ton of renovations. One of the craziest things about the pop-out concert to me is that Amazon streamed it for free. It was billionaire on billionaire violence. Drake dropped a song with Camila Cabello. I didn't like it. Around this time, Drake is now accusing Kendrick of botting streams on Not Like Us. He was rumored to have been complaining about this before, but he now said it live in Trainwreck's chat room. It could be jealousy because of the lack of streams on the Camila song that he was on. The Not Like Us music video is released. He hit us with the broccoli snippet.
Woke up looking for the broccoli, hockey.
At the time, I was so excited I couldn't wait for that song to come out. Literally, after the video was over, all I can think of was, all right, Kendrick, now where's that song? Because you did the same thing to us on the All Right music video.
Tell me who the bitch nigga hating on me, jumping on my dick, but this dick ain't free.
And that song never came out. So I was when I first heard it, I was praying, okay, I hope to God this song comes out. The OVO bots complained that he was dragging it out, blah, blah, blah. Whatever. That's just very funny coming from them considering how much he dragged Meek Mill. Like he performed back to back so many times. But I think this video was tasteful. You can tell Kendrick was trying to keep his like artsy roots. At the same time, he wanted to clown Drake. He had Drake from the Dark Lane demo tapes getting dragged away. On the Heard You Like 'Em Young bar, it shows this room which appears to be related to artist Mila Jovovich and her underage relationship. Like, this is something so niche that I would call it a reach if the two rooms weren't so identical. And then they show this room the second he says, Drake, I hear you like him young. With the wop, 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 he beats up an owl pinata. And for the A-liner mine, he gets the crowd involved and plays the audio of the crowd singing it.
A minor.
That he has at the music video. And I love when music videos do that. And it makes sense to me to do that in this situation, considering it's probably the most popular line of the song and it really adds emphasis. He got DJ Mustard in the video, obviously very necessary. He made this fire-ass beat. He got DeMar DeRozan in this video, further proving my point, I think, and my belief that DeMar DeRozan doesn't like Drake as much as everybody thinks that he did before. There was a mention that there was trouble with TDE and Kendrick not having Top's backing and that he would be alone and stuff now. However, this nice shot of the whole fam together was kind of another FU to that theory. He even got Tommy the Clown to come out, who Vince Staples seems to have some type of beef with. He's even got his wife, his supposedly beaten wife, in a wife beater, dancing around the house, enjoying herself with her kids. Whitney in this video, not looking beaten, having a good time. It's not looking good for Drake. The ending image is Kendrick putting an owl in his cage, you know, putting Drake in his place. It was so funny. I saw this one video where somebody pinched Kendrick's cheeks. And I was like, could you imagine how frustrating it is to get stomped out by such a fucking cutie pie? Ak was spreading some propaganda that Kendrick caused problems for the city and for the workers and for the people around in that area. But the restaurant slid up on Ak's story and said, hey, that's not true. They made a Not Like Us video game. It's got like an 8-bit instrumental of Not Like Us in the background. My current high score is 14. Gambino drops an album which has a Drake diss on it. I mean, This Is America originally started as a Drake diss.
This Is America, like that was all we had was like that line. And it started as a Drake diss, to be honest.
I'm not really sure how they have beef or why, but as a Bino fan, I'll take whatever I can get. He's pretty much retired from rapping, so the fact that we got a single rap song on this album, loved it. And at the same time, it was a Drake diss. Chef's kiss. He took Drake's flow from Meltdown with Travis Scott.
Yeah, act like you love this American shit, but really the truth is you're scared of the sick.
And flipped it and then took tons of shots at him.
I put your boy in the seat. You got your biz in the streets. Niggas don't know where I'm at. I found your house on the app. White boy throwing dirt on my name for the think piece. Made a song but spent more time writing the caption.
Take a picture of me. I'm about to respond with an Instagram caption. You can't take that. I mean, what should I say? There's so many out there.
Okay, so upon hearing that Jay-Z wants to sell part of his stake in Reasonable Doubt, Lupe says that Drake should buy it. Saying this because Lupe knows that Kendrick hates that Drake buys like hip-hop monuments. And Lupe has been a Kendrick hater for literally forever. He said that Logic was better than him.
MCs, I think lyrically, is King Los. Is Logic. Is Logic.
Logic over Kendrick?
Right?
Love Logic.
Yes.
Over Kendrick?
You know what I'm saying? His opinion on whoever he thinks I'm better than or anything like that is Lupe Fiasco's. Is incredible. Kendrick is amazing.
Yeah.
So, and I've been working. Yeah.
And I think he also named King Los.
Los.
Above Kendrick.
Los is dope.
Los is dope.
We can stop saying above Kendrick. That's people.
And this is no hate to Logic, but he didn't make Sing About Me. Honestly think Lupe's jealous. Lupe is like super lyrical, and I don't want to say deep. Okay, he is deep, but it's more like super convoluted. For example, he did a whole album where he rapped from the perspective of Amy Winehouse. Like, people will genuinely break down Lupe's raps, and he'll be in the comment section saying, hey, there's more, you missed stuff. Like, you can break down Lupe's raps for hours and he will still tell you about stuff you missed. Lupe's stuff is genuinely layered, and that's cool and that's fun. But I think there's this bitterness there because Lupe perhaps feels he should be where Kendrick is because he started before Kendrick, and in his mind, he raps better than Kendrick. And I think this is something that a lot of super lyrical rappers have to come to terms with, where they complain that nobody likes real rap anymore. And this is something that even Drake struggles with. I remember I saw an interview where somebody said that Drake doesn't really understand what's so special about Kendrick. There's no drought of lyrical rappers. There's so many. But here's the difference between them and Kendrick. When Kendrick raps, people care. That's literally it. He makes music people care about. So if you're sitting there with your 48-bar dissertation, you're probably sitting there wondering, you know, why isn't my music making it? Bro, niggas just don't care. Back to Lupe's assertion, where he thinks he's better than Kendrick. Look, man, if your name is Lupe Fiasco and you're rapping from the position of a grape that has been given surgery or some shit, then I understand why you might feel that way, that you're better than Kendrick. But literally no one else in the world should have this opinion. And Lupe, brother, Drake fans are only agreeing with you because you're on this side for this moment. I promise you, if you start talking clearly, start making some sense, they will not give a fuck about you or your 7-dimensional bars. And I'm not even saying don't call yourself the GOAT. As a rapper, you have all the right in the world to call yourself the GOAT. The problem is where you start belittling others, like Kendrick, where everyone's going to be like, and look at you crazy. A Family Matters video game was made. They made this video game to counteract Not Like Us video game. The 8-bit Family Matters instrumental is super sick. However, the game concept, I think maybe you should have thought about it more. Maybe give Drake beating up the Good Kid, Mad City van or something, you know? A game where you're supposed to be dissing Kendrick and you're literally giving him Grammys, and I'm like 95% sure he's gonna win a Grammy for Not Like Us, by the way. But when you're trying to diss him and you made a video game for him, literally giving him Grammys. I mean, I get what you're going for, but like a high score for that game is 7. It's harder than the Not Like Us game, but it is more fun than the Not Like Us game. Drake releases 100 gigs. I won't lie to you. When I heard Drake released 100 gigs of information, I didn't deal with it. There was a lot of videos and studio sessions. I didn't watch all that shit, man. Look, essentially there's only 3 songs on there that matter. He had a song called It's Up. It's a cool song. And if you're a Drake fan, it's a great song. Young Thug slid like normal. It was nice to hear Drake talk about him actually loving his friends. I love all my friends. Because normally when he's rapping, he's always talking about his friends not being trustworthy and that everyone's against him and people are always trying to stab his back. 21 Savage slid on that song. Fire. Dropped a song, Blue, Green, Red. I don't like this song that much. I've never really been a fan of Drake singing, and I've never been a fan of Drake's accents. He does decide to get Jamaican-y and British-y on this song, hitting 2 accents. Rumor is that Drake wants to drop, music. That's why 100 gigs is like part of that. Irish freestyle as well. But the problem is, it's rumored that UMG went through an agreement with Kendrick's team to stop the beef. And he isn't allowed to do any more sneak dissing or anything of that nature. Otherwise, Kendrick will drop on his head and then drop some more. And on the song It's Up, it literally says, I don't care about my ops or a bunch of other stuff. And then No Face as well. Honestly, these songs just seem like a bunch of little jabs. So I think that's why they've been sort of released weirdly. So I personally think they're trying to block him from starting anything else up. Because I think they're afraid that any more sneak disses will cause more problems and bring some more stuff up.
If Drake say any fucking thing, he gonna die.
Not physically, not really. He's just saying on music. I told y'all, UMG shut it down, and I said Drake is not gonna make another meme, a tweet, a sub, nothing about Kendrick. And if he does, it's gonna be up. As soon as that's the only reason Top Dog and Kendrick would agree to something like that. You're not about to tell us to agree to stand down, and then he get to go on his album and make little subs and little jabs at us. If we feel like it's a jab, it's up.
Drake and Ak release a round 2 threat.
Page, middle of the page, wherever headliners, column 1 or 2, we will win game 2. You're not backing off? We will win game 2.
But game 2, we will win. This the new thing, Drake in 5.
I have a theory about what game 2 is. They hint that game 2 is going to have home court advantage. Now, what does Drake consider his home court? The charts. He says it all the time. Poppy's home. He considers the charts his home court. So round 2 is probably going to be who's streaming the most, who's selling the most, who's getting the highest numbers. I believe that Drake is making the assumption that in 10 years when they look back on this beef, they'll see that, oh, well, this was Kendrick's highest year. He never streamed again like that. Meanwhile, Drake continued to stream really highly. Akademiks even says, oh, Kendrick is really feeling the pressure. He's feeling the pressure to drop.
Kendrick, yo, check it out. Kendrick is feeling the pressure. Brother.
Oh, you've got 5 songs? Okay, then put them on your album.
How many stocks you really got in stock? Well, put that on your album, sir.
So that they can run the narrative that Kendrick never lived up to the hype and that Drake washed him. Round 2 is essentially going to be narrative building. Jay-Z and Nas are actually going through this right now. I've actually seen it a lot where people are nowadays trying to say that The Takeover was a better song and Jay-Z won in the end because people feel like Jay-Z's career has been more successful. Some people are starting to say that Jay-Z was more successful. But the honest truth is, Ether is still that shit. Ether is still that guy. It really, to me, it doesn't matter how much more successful Jay-Z gets, especially when it seems like he might have been at them Diddy parties. Because a win is a win. And now that I'm in the future and seeing that Kendrick has dropped his album and it's streaming really well, I think Drake might have to bank on round 3. According to Akademiks, what seems to have spurred this comment was Drake seeing someone who he deemed was a loyal friend hanging out with TDE and TDE associates. This, I believe, to be LeBron. Because in an interview with Cooley Bravo said that Daylight got them in trouble by posting that video of LeBron dancing to Not Like Us.
Daylight is the one who got us in fucking trouble today when he posted a Bron video. And I said, Daylight, why the fuck did you do that? Because now Drake's gonna look at Bron like, oh.
Which might have actually been a genius play because now this forces LeBron to be on Kendrick's side because it's already shown LeBron dancing to Kendrick. But as we know, that video was never supposed to come out. The person was trying to play both sides and say, oh, I was just hanging out with them. I was just cool with them or whatever. I was just seeing what was up with them. Drake has been like releasing songs and being on features, but those new songs are not top streaming like they should be. So personally, I would feel like Drake's just chatting shit. He just wants attention. He's turned into clout chaser instead of hard labor. Just drop more songs, brother. Just drop music. I do just want to remind Drake that he's never won a chart battle against Kendrick, okay? Damn outsold More Life. Mr. Morale outsold Honestly Nevermind. And this time, you lost to Kendrick time and time again. Not only during the beef with Not Like Us, but also Euphoria was out charting Family Matters as well. And I understand that Honestly Nevermind and More Life are supposed to be mixtapes and not a main album, but if Axe says everything counts and that's the biggest Drake glazer, then everything counts. You have yet to outsell him.
Are you counting on Tidal though? That was
yes, I am. I'll count everything.
Album.
You sell tons when he's not on the charts, but the second he's on the charts, he sells more than you. Or streams because nobody buys shit anymore. Like I'm obligated to talk about the fact that Big Sean did drop. Unfortunately, it's got nothing to do with any of this, but I'm legally obligated to give a fuck because I really don't think anybody else did. So then a week after Big Sean drops, Kendrick responds by saying there's no round 2s and then says he will be playing at the Super Bowl.
My name Kendrick Lamar, and I'll be performing at Super Bowl 59. Will you be pulling up? I hope so. You know it's only one opportunity to win a championship. No round 2s. Let's get it.
Drake cannot win. So many Drake fans came out as mad about this whole Super Bowl thing. Lil Wayne deserves it. Lil Wayne should be playing it. Jay-Z stole this from Lil Wayne. And then At came in and started saying, well, Drake never wanted the Super Bowl, you know? He's turned it down several times. And then Maul came and said the same thing. And these people are literally only saying this because Kendrick has gotten it. So many people were saying this. Lil Wayne then came out and said, what? I'm so disappointed. And I really only feel like Lil Wayne came out and said anything because not even me, but all those people kept saying stuff. Me personally, looking at Lil Wayne, hearing him speak and his voice and his performances, man, Lil Wayne is not in a physical or possibly mental condition to do a whole Super Bowl halftime show. And this is not a diss to Lil Wayne, but I'm looking at his live events where there's been a decrease in Wayne's stage presence, a decrease in his real performance. And I love Lil Wayne. I really do. I hope he goes out there for a song. But I don't think Lil Wayne has it in him anymore to carry a whole Super Bowl performance. And then Kendrick and Wayne apparently speak, and Wayne is no longer mad or sad about it or whatever the situation is.
And also, I've spoken to him and I wished him all the best and told him he better kill it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So you better kill it. You gotta kill it.
And then all the Drake fans turn on Wayne now, showing that this was literally never about Wayne. It was always about pushing their agenda. In 2013, a time when Wayne was in better rapping condition, nobody had anything to say to Beyonce when she performed in New Orleans. There were no posts about it. And Beyonce has one of the worst fan bases ever. The Beehive, incredibly strong. So it really just makes me feel like they're all just bringing this up to push their agenda. 2 days after he announces the Super Bowl, Kendrick drops Watch the Party Die. Kendrick has this big habit of dropping shit while I'm napping, man. I was in Louisiana during a hurricane, and I wake up to like 7 different text messages of, hey, Kendrick dropped. Another diss is out. Another diss has hit the towers. This song kind of reminds me of Jcole's interlude on Logic's album. I see this song kind of as Kendrick's like The Watcher. So this is like The Watcher 3. He's rapping from the perspective of someone looking at the fuckery in the rap game and the foolishness going on. I like the song a lot. Going on Twitter after this song was not fun at all. It wasn't as fun like during the rap beef. Now, anytime Kendrick drops something, everyone just relates it to Drake. This is a great song, and it's not even a diss. He's just being introspective about the current state of the rap game. But the OVO bots and the literal engagement bot make shit so unbearable. Listening to this song, it made me think that we might get like a Christian album or something, like scolding the culture. To me, this song reads like a prayer. There's a theory that every one of Kendrick's albums is like a form of media. You know, To Pimp a Butterfly is a poem, Mr. Morale is a play, Damn is a magazine, Section 80 is a book, Good Kid, Mad City is a movie. So now we're approaching, I think, his prayer album, or maybe something along those lines. Here's a summary of the whole song.
I've seen niggadom at its ultimate. Hey, who are these niggas?
I cried laughing when I read it.
You know what I'm saying? like, we need to stay away from these niggas. You know what I mean?
This isn't really out of nowhere. If you've been paying attention to Kendrick for the last few albums, you'll see that he's been disillusioned with the culture for a while now. Why would you wait when Trayvon Martin died in the street? When gang make you kill a nigga blacker than me? Hypocrite. And then on the Heart Part 5, you know, he mentions like, your nephew just got shot down. There's culture involved.
Little nephew was shot down. The culture's involved.
And says, in a land where hurt people hurt more people, fuck calling it culture.
In a land where hurt people hurt more people, fuck calling it culture.
And this is a torn moment for him because, of course, this is the culture. This is the party that raised him. And he fully recognizes his faults and shortcomings, which puts him in a position where he has avidly pointed out that he is not our savior. On the Heart Part 5, he sort of rapped about being annoyed with the party. And I always wondered if we were going to get a Heart Part 6. And I always kind of assumed that this was essentially the Heart Part 6. But what I'm getting from all this is that the party's getting too loud for him. There are people who listen to this song and saw it as a Drake diss and are assuming that the party is the celebration of Drake's demise or the beef being the party, you know? But that's not what he's talking about. He's talking about the influence and the bullshit that has been spread through messaging. They glorify you scam and you get chipped over this credit card. TJX6 and Babytron rap about scamming to get rich all the time.
Scam people? Do you think I have time to sit here and scam people? You think I have time to do that? No, I don't. I don't have time.
As soon as you click the link, I get your information. You ordered a t-shirt 3 years ago and he's still waiting. I scam.
You can't afford no food cause you fucking poor. I'm about to fuck your bitch, nigga. Close the door.
He's tired of the influencers who hate him because he's not going to dick ride them for a favor. He's tired of the pill-popping degenerates that have been leading that in the culture as well. You know, radio personalities pushing propaganda for salary. Let me know when they turn up as a casualty. Obviously mentioning Ak, who is famous for his coverage of Chirac. And also, Akademiks has literally said he doesn't want to hear anything from 21 Savage if it isn't about killing. And I'm not saying that I don't like 21's bars about murder, but what I am saying is that but if 21 takes his time out to try and give some people some life advice, and you say, just shut the fuck up and dribble, or just shut the fuck up and kill someone, that's whack. That's whack to me. And he questions, where are all the kids that want books? Meaning, like, where are the kids who want to learn their way out of the hood? Where are the kids in the culture that want to go to college and change their lives? And then you get where Kendrick says, I would trade so many of these culture clowns for Nip. I really think Nip... Ooh. Shit. I really think that Nip dying is kind of fucked with Kendrick. He said that it's really hard to keep the culture afloat, or at best, he's like trying hard to stick to his morals, but the party keeps getting louder and more out of hand, and it's getting to the point where he's not seeing a point to keep the party going. So it's time to watch the party die because the kids have to go to sleep for school in the morning. Kendrick is letting the party die so he can burn it down and build it up, slashing, burning the party so something better can grow. So when the kids looking at the party from the window or they take peeks at the party, you know, they're not seeing pill popping and scamming and killing each other. Kendrick is trying to kind of give us a social commentary from the point of view that I'm not sure a lot of people can pull off. He's trying to show us what's wrong without like fully scolding us, but also saying that, hey, this can't continue. The party dies today so the kids can live tomorrow.
Outside, the kids live tomorrow, cause today the party just
And this song is a perfect example of what I was saying earlier, where I think what makes Kendrick special from all the other lyrical rappers. It isn't just that he can be conscious and make a conscious album and make conscious music. It's that he can make lyrical conscious raps that people care about. There are 4 million conscious rappers. That's not the rare build that people think it is. But there are like 3 rappers that people actually care about when they rap like that. Anyone here familiar with the rapper Titty Boy? Mr. 2 Chainz, Tawheed Ebbs? He's a college graduated rapper, by the way. He's likely smarter than me, and he's likely smarter than you. And he got famous rapping when he was older. Mr. 2 Chainz definitely knows more about rap than I'll ever know about. But he knows something very simple, that he should rap like a nigga named 2 Chainz. She got a big booty, so I call her Big Booty. You don't think he could rap better than that? Obviously he could, but who would care? On the part where he sort of blanks out, Kendrick blanks out on this song, I think the fill in the blank is, but I would fuck a nigga up and let him bleed some. The funny part about this song is Kendrick could accidentally start a 20v1 against him, but it would all be a self-report. Like if you listen to this song and get mad that Kendrick is saying, hey, you're contributing to fuck shit, then you're saying you're contributing to fuck shit. So if you got chipped by this, your best bet is to pretend you didn't see anything. Plus, Kendrick is literally the last guy on earth that I think anyone would want to beef with right now. Funny to think now that Kendrick is like a part of this hip hop react complex, that anytime he does anything, 4 million react videos will pop up reacting to Kendrick. But some of these guys are just morons. They'll be like, hey, you catch what he said there? And then not explain it at all. Like, bro, you didn't just catch what he said there.
Oh, hey, Jake spasm. You know what he said? Nah, I didn't.
Until GNX came out, I was a little worried. I like this song. I like this song a lot. But it made me worried that he was going to like bait and switch us. Like, oh, I got the Super Bowl. And then Not Like Us has become the biggest song of the streaming era. And they want him to play that at the Super Bowl. And then he comes out with a new album of all songs like this. So hearing this, I was like, oh no, this brother's not about to play any hype songs. He's about to do an introspective rap album and scold white America for 30 minutes during the Super Bowl. But I'm happy GNX exists now. I think what really the situation is that after taking Drake out in the way that he did, he realized all eyes are on him now. And he wanted to get a message out while people still cared. Hence this song dropping literally 2 days after being announced for the Super Bowl. In this song, he mentions a Christian rapper, Lecrae, kind of asking, what do I do about this problem with the party? Should I destroy the party or pray for them? And Lecrae actually responds. Lecrae sort of tells his perspective where before I got to that he was a part of the party, but he doesn't agree with the party. You know, he's mad that his cousin died from overdose. You know, he's mad that labels are exploiting people. He's tired of the gun violence and gang violence. He was born from a Crip family and a Blood family. He even ended up getting addicted to Xanax. So you looked at like Lecrae for an answer, and he's like, well, asking for an answer, I too am a sinner. You know, I deserve death with all the other liars and hypocrites. So I can't condemn the whole party and burn all these heretics. So essentially what he's saying is, you're wondering what I would do, but I am part of the party as well. Lecrae's answer is ending the song by saying, Christ didn't watch the party die. He died instead of it.
And Christ didn't watch the party die. He died instead of it.
Now, surely he's not asking for Kendrick to sacrifice himself for the party. I think what he's saying is that Christ already died for our sins. So choose love and be patient instead of factory resetting the culture. D1 was another rapper that Kendrick mentioned, saying, I want to be empathetic like D1. Fortunately, D1 also responds, but has a different opinion. D1 says, call it like it is. The party's already dead, and you're the ones who killed it.
Hip-hop is dead, and y'all the ones who killed that.
You can call me preachy, but our communities are celebrating being stupid and enjoying being stupid, and our communities are being poisoned. D1 is essentially saying, like, kind of the other side of the line from Lecrae, saying, what party is there to destroy? It's already gone. Okay, so on September 16th, What's the Dirt releases his video on Family Matters. The content of the video is not really as important as the backlash. What's the Dirt dropped the Family Matters video going through everything, but it was very long-winded, like 2 hours long. And Company Man, a long-tenured, respected memory of the culture and of the rap community, watched it, and he had a few criticisms, you know, rightfully so.
And what's also really clever here is that Drake is 37 years old, and he says the N-word 37 times on this track, and I believe his reasons for doing this is he's basically saying the word for every year that he's been alive to symbolize that he was indeed born black.
And What's the Dirt did not take it well. He called him a snake.
It's snaky as fuck.
A loser. That he had no motion.
But I'm not putting it up on YouTube because I'd only be doing him a favor. Like, a lot of these guys don't have a lot of motion.
And now that's something really crazy to say about the Company Man, especially since he's been around for so long and he's super respected in this space. And then he goes off the fucking deep end. Company Man says, I never really used the N-word in my house. What's the Dirt replies, I can tell.
My family growing up didn't use the N-word. I made a whole video on my channel. I didn't say the N-word for 20 years.
Bro, I could kind of tell.
Whoa, hold up now. You got too much dip on your chip now, brother. You got too much dip on your chip. Hey, brother, you just got here. Don't start calling people out about their blackness. That shit's just weird. Like, he even called him Carlton, and Twitter was not having it. They called him out on all of it. In fact, even in his YouTube comments, you could still see backlash about it. And then he claimed, I'm only getting backlash because I made a Drake favored video and the other Kendrick fans can't handle it. No, sir. It's because you sat in your room and counted all the N-words thinking it meant something. You were tone deaf. And not only were you tone deaf, you were loud. You were not only loud, but you were loud and wrong. The people getting on your ass aren't Kendrick stans. No Kendrick stan is watching a 2-hour video on Family Matters. The Kendrick stans are not in the room with us.
It's 2 hours long. I know it's like already 1:39.
The people coming at you are Company Man fans and others who thought your comments were fucking stupid. This is not because it was a Drake favored video. This is because you made enormous reaches and then went mask off on Company, a well-respected member of the culture, when you just got here. This is not how you handle moving in a new space, man. No one ever comes at Fantana like, because Fantana would never say any crazy shit like that. What's the Dirt did decide to apologize, delete his Twitter, and delete the video going at Company Man. I don't think this is like the end for What's the Dirt. I think you still have the ability to make good content. I still would like you to keep pushing. I think redemption is out there. Just let this be your first serious lesson. Don't come at anybody for their blackness when you got none. What the Dirt has mentioned, like being bipolar and struggling with stuff like that.
I'm also a big therapy guy because I'm bipolar.
And I think he just saw the video he just spent 8 months on getting torn up and he crashed out. Kendrick fans are not the unhinged weirdos that characterizes them as. In fact, I've never even seen a Kendrick stan account until after this beef. Kendrick doesn't put enough material out to stand around, you know. You'll be all right, kid. Just stay off Twitter. I don't really feel like you have the mind for it. I'm actually not even that mad at What's the Dirt at all. I feel like this could be a learning lesson. And if we're voting white people to remove from hip hop, I'm voting DJ Vlad. That dude is fucking horrendous. Jcole drops this song, Port Antonio. This song's actually really good. I like it a lot. I don't know if there's any significance to the name, but Port Antonio is a port in Spanish Jamaica. Could be where this song comes from. This song covers his feelings on the beef, it seems, but Jcole, honestly, you didn't need to make this. General opinion of you is pretty high right now. Everyone thinks you made a really good business decision, and they also think that you're on Kendrick's side, or at the very least, not against him. It all looked quite good to you. To me, it looked like the main motivation for this song, though, was people kept saying that J. Cole would have lost anyway if he hadn't have backed out. And to me, it's like, bro, you can't have it both ways. You did decide to drop out of the beef, so you can't say, oh, well, I would have won. I just didn't want to do what it took to win. Bro, that's like a UFC fighter that drops out of the fight and then says, oh, I would have won. I could have beat that guy, but there's blood in the ring and I didn't want to get my feet dirty. If someone isn't willing to fight, they're never going to win a fight. I respected his decision to get out of this battle. I really do. But you don't get it both ways. You don't get to drop out and then say, oh, I just didn't want to lose my friend. I would have won and all that. Then he also says, it wouldn't have been worth it. Like, I can't tell whose side he's on with this song. I'm assuming that he's trying to take a middle position and be like friendly. I'm assuming. But then he says stuff like, it wouldn't have been worth it if I had to sway the algorithm and bot the whole thing. So are you saying that Kendrick is using bots? Are you referring to Drake, who had for sure used bots during the Pusha T feud? Or are you just saying that they're both using bots? And he mentions, my friends went to war and I walked away with both their blood on me. Well, actually, Cole, this is more like the person who goes home at the beginning of a horror movie. You didn't get any blood on you. You went home on a school shooter day, all right? And now it's like you're trying to get back in after you think the school shooting has already stopped, or at least you're like peeking your head in the window. And there seems to be a friend that like contacts Cole and cheers him up and says, if you refuse to shoot the gun, that doesn't mean that it's not deadly. Of course, saying just because you didn't battle doesn't mean you would have lost. But he responds by saying, well, shit, maybe a gun isn't what I'm trying to be, which I take to mean he doesn't want to be dangerous. But it is way better to have the potential of being dangerous. It's better to be a soldier in a garden than a gardener in a war. Everyone says this. He also said, they say I'm picking sides. Don't lie on me, my nigga, to start another war. Saying that, I think here's my two theories of what I think he's trying to. He could be saying, you're lying on me to try and start another war, which could be referring to Kendrick, who said you did Cole foul, maybe trying to drive a wedge between Jcole and Drake. But the rumor is that after Jcole dropped out, him and Kendrick talked fully.
Dot and Cole actually talked. It wasn't like he punked him type of thing.
So hypothetically, they should be very okay, and there shouldn't be any tension between them. So my thought is that he's talking about maybe Twitter narratives. And then the last line seems to be talking about Drake, maybe even trying to cheer him up a little bit, saying, don't worry about the narratives, just tap back into your pen, just make more music, just make better music. Ending with saying, I'm sending love because we aren't promised anything, essentially saying we could all die tomorrow. I love y'all, but I don't want you to think I'm on bad terms. And I don't know if he is still talking to Kendrick with that line, but I know he's definitely talking to Drake with that line. Metro Boomin and Future were listed as two of Men's GQ Man of the Year, and they got to do an interview. And in their interview, Metro Boomin backtracks and says he regrets how he handled things. He was tired of Drake shitting on him in all these songs, but he doesn't rap, so I can't get in the booth. So I decided to tweet at him, which he says he now regrets. Then on the next line, he says, it's ridiculous to think that we made those two albums toward Drake. So we were dumb for thinking that? You were the one constantly tweeting at him, then came out with two albums called We Don't Trust You. What the fuck were we supposed to think? And then you made the BBL Drizzy beat. Future, I guess the leans got into his fucking head. He said he had no idea about the rap beef, and apparently this was all news to him. Brother, that's the reason your album sold so fucking well. You had really good songs, but also it had to do with this beef. Then in the next sentence, he says that he was angry, and that he was angry that he's been left off of the Big Three conversation. Look, Future, in Atlanta, you are that guy. Top shit, you're God in Atlanta, all right? But there's only 3 spots. Only 3 people can be in the Big Three. So unless this is like an effort post hate comment towards Jcole, there isn't room. And Future apparently felt dissed by Kendrick when he said, it's just Big Me. And Future said, if I ain't get mad enough to make something out of it, then no one else should have. Essentially saying, he's annoyed that Kendrick said it, but it's on my song. And if I'm not mad, then Drake, you shouldn't have did all that shit you just did. Here's how I feel about it. If you guys are going to keep getting mad at Kendrick when he called himself the best of all time, stop asking him for a feature. It's rap. It's not that deep. Theory behind why Future was mad at Drake or whatever is that he made that album with 21 Savage, and people, being Future, I guess, felt like if he was going to do another joint album tape with an Atlanta rapper, it should have been him. That was the rumor. I don't know if Future actually cares that much. I just thought it was funny that Future and Metro pretended like they have no idea what's going on. Metro, you made the BBL Drizzy beat, and you dropped 2 albums saying we don't trust you. And then they sit back and they go, we have no idea. We don't know what's going on. GNX is released. Oh, God, I think Kendrick is watching me, man. So I went for a midday nap, and I woke up to 4 million messages about Kendrick dropping. This is Kendrick's first album under PG Lang. We knew some album was coming, but this album came out of nowhere. Kendrick put a promo song up, which made people think, oh, maybe we'll get an album this week. No, he dropped the album 20 minutes later. And then he broccolied us again. He used a snippet from a song to promote an album, and then when the album came out, the song was not on the album. And that promo song is a banger. I think Kendrick is trying to give us what we want while still making us want more, you know? He knows if he keeps being mysterious with these promos, we're going to keep wanting more songs. This album is not exactly what I was expecting, but it's great. After Watch the Party Die, I was expecting a bunch of super introspective songs, but I think Kendrick delivered. My estimation of the situation is that he realized he couldn't rap about his auntie being a man on Football Sunday, so he had to make a hype album with some hype songs for people to sing and get into, and he did a great job. I can't wait to see this performance. The first song, Whacked Out Murals, not as much of a banger, but it's highly topical on the current events. He says, ironically, my hard work let Lil Wayne down, which is a reference to J. Cole's song Let Nas Down. The irony being that Nas was the only one to congratulate Kendrick. And Snoop Dogg posted TaylorMade when it came out, which did seem highly weird considering he used AI of his dead friend Tupac to diss who he himself had declared as the West Coast's next up.
Say this and I'ma mean this. Nigga, you got the torch, nigga. You better run with it. You better run with it, nigga, because it's yours.
I'm thinking I'm posting Gin and Juice. I don't know what song this is. I'm not hip to everybody's music.
Right.
Then I get the word, nephew didn't like what you did. What did I do? You played some music. What music? Then I had to go look at I'm like, oh, that's cuz. Damn. So then I deleted it, called nephew, left him a message because he ain't pick up. He was working on his shit. I left him a message, nephew, this Uncle Snoop. I got the message. I apologize. I was fucked up. My bad.
Did you feel like at all like weird about like that, like Drake using your voice?
Man, I don't want to be in nobody's shit, man. I like being in my own shit. You know what I'm saying?
Because you didn't know that was happening.
No, I didn't.
In another line, I hate that I'm gonna have to talk about fucking Andrew Schultz. In another line, he says, "Don't let no white comedian talk about black women." Essentially saying, "Yo, that shit you did on your podcast was weird." And Andrew responds to being called weird by saying that he could rape Kendrick if he wanted to.
Just Kendrick, I would make love to him, and there's nothing he could do about it. Just Kendrick Lamar, I would make love to him, and the only thing that he could do is decide if it's consensual or not.
First off, Andrew, he didn't even say your name. You could have kept it pushing and pretending that line wasn't about you. Instead, you self-reported and then went off the deep end. And then you were over here saying, bro, what, is he too woke? He can't take a joke?
I hit Andrew Schultz about that. I think his reaction was, he's like, yo, is this guy too woke to understand a joke?
Bro, comedy has gotten so fucking soft, and it isn't even the crowds that are soft. It's the fucking comedians. Wah, I can't say this. Wah, I can't say that. Look, I'm not a fucking comedy genius or anything, okay? But it's very simple. You can say whatever you want in comedy, and I'm serious. You can say whatever you want, literally anything. It just better be fucking funny. When you say something that you think is a joke and you think it's funny, and it wasn't funny, or other people think it's not funny, they're gonna roast you. That's part of the job. Just be funny. Then he started saying that Kendrick was talking about him for clout.
I'm just saying, what a time to be alive where rappers gotta talk about comedians for clout.
It's crazy.
You're welcome. You are. How many views did I give him, do you think?
First off, he didn't mention your name. Secondly, Kendrick just came off the biggest rap beef in history. He was the top streaming artist. And you're over here talking about him clout chasing? It's fucking ridiculous. People, rightfully so, did not like Schultz's response. And they were tweeting at him, calling him a weirdo, calling him a moron. And this guy spent like 2 days responding to people and kept digging his hole. Look, Kendrick didn't even mention your name. You could have pretended it wasn't you. And I honestly haven't been able to look at Schultz the same anymore after that one podcast episode where he said that Taylor Swift had the same amount of aura as Michael Jackson.
Went to Taylor, by the way.
You saw Taylor?
This is the greatest live concert I've ever seen in my life. Only person you can compare Taylor Swift to is Michael Jackson. There's nobody else. You're doing a disservice to any other artist if you compare Taylor Swift.
On this album, we get the Broccoli snippet, which is the song Squabble Up, Fire, love it. Luther is a nice R&B cut with SZA. Those two are always fire. When they, Man at the Garden is my least favorite song on the album, like by far. Hey Now is one of my favorite songs on the album. That beat cut in the middle is fucking sick.
To being Frank murderer, Mr. I ain't heard of ya. Strings back to back, flying through the turbulence.
On this album of like hype songs, we sort of take a break from the hype and get a little introspective and conceptual on a song where he's talking about rapping from the perspective of one of his reincarnated lives. The first life that he's rapping from is John Lee Hooker, also known as Boogeyman. Speaking on getting kicked out of the house by his father when he was young, claiming he never needed his father's influence, and he became a famous musician. And from this perspective, he talks about how he lied to the masses and used different names to get around label restrictions and get richer. And then when he died, he was just so greedy, the only thing he had was his greed. And then he died with his money because greed was too attractive, never doing anything charitable with the funds. On his second verse, it's him talking about his life when he was a female vocalist on the Chitlin circuit, which is a network of clubs and theaters that gave black artists the ability to perform during the segregation era. And the sin of this character was addiction, who actually dies to heroin after her father turns her back on her. And this third verse, we finally get to Kendrick's life, where yet again Kendrick is kicked out of the house, but this time he forgives his father, realizing that the way he was living was full of ego and pride, and those things were causing resentment. This time he tries to live a selfless life and won't take his gifts for granted. It was a great song. Super, super deep. But right after that song, we got Mustard. This beat, it kind of feels like a Not Like Us Part 2. Big fan of this song. Probably my favorite on the album. But it's just funny because right after listening to one of the deepest songs I've ever heard, we then get the hypest song on the whole album. It's almost too hype. Like the last song, he was preaching letting go of his pride, accepting forgiveness. And then on the song directly after, he says, bitch, I cut my granny off if he don't shit how I shit. You know, like there's a verse here where he says, hey, young nigga, get your money up. And I'm just sitting here like, I thought that was a sin. That murdered one of your first lives, Kendrick. And it's just so deliberate that I almost think it's on purpose. And I think it's kind of a tease that there's a second half to this album with a lot more introspective songs. And maybe in a particular listening order, when you have both albums, you get sort of two separate albums. But I could just be reaching. Kendrick could have just been thinking, yeah, I just made someone sit through a 4-minute Negro biblical spiritual. Let me give them something to bop to. I can't wait to hear the song play at the Super Bowl. The horns are fire. Lefty Gunplay says the same 4 words and it's flame. It's like that dude's casting a spell. Dodger Blue, love that song. A nice little groove. Peekaboo, another good song. What they talk about, they talk about now. What they talk about, they talk about now. What they talk about, they talk about now. What they talk about, they talk about nothing. Ain't talk about nothing. My favorite part of that song was the bing bop boop bop bam. The type of shit I'm on you wouldn't understand. We get the real hard part 6. So for the people in my comment section who thought he would just ignore Drake's song and make his own, you're right. Very rare that we get a heart on an album. Typically they're used to promote albums, which is another reason I feel like there's more coming. This song sort of talks about the forming of TDE, and it feels like he's like reminiscing about TDE and all the important people in his career and like sort of the aspirations and how he got to this point. He mentions Ab-Soul being like the first to rap. He used to study how Ab-Soul rapped to hope to have skills like him one day. In the next verse, he mentions Dave Free, who was like the group middleman. He did everything but rap, you know? He produced, he managed, he directed, he DJ'd. He even got into squabbles with Kendrick and gang squabbles for the sake of TDE. And then mentioning that he was the one who brought Schoolboy Q into the fold. And Schoolboy Q, he was like, bro, Q was homeless and I had left home. And Top Dog had given them not only a figurative rapping home, but a literal home. They would sleep on his couch and eat his food. In this next verse, he sort of talks about his feelings to TD and the things that caused him to leave. You know, he did a poor job of communicating. He was starting to feel stagnant, and he wanted more than just being a rapper. And he blames himself. He blames himself for the death of Black Hippie, which is the rap group inside of TDE that, despite having amazing rappers, never really got a project together. Because Kendrick was so focused on his own career, he put his heart and soul into that. And then he made Mr. Morale to get out of his contract. That was like the new muse for him. He's like, I'm going to put all my passion, all my love, all my life experience into Mr. Morale, but that will also free me of my contract. So now I can move on to something bigger and better, which it seems that Kendrick is super interested in being a Black executive. Finally stating, let this song be a lesson. I didn't handle things right. Pick up the phone, talk to your homies, especially if they treated you like family before things have gone too far and you lose that history, you lose that family. GNX, this song was the most hated on Twitter, but I fucking love it, man. Tell him Kendrick did it. The features really bodied the beat as well. So I like this song, GNX. Gloria, yet another fire Kendrick and SZA song. I can almost bet this song will be played at the Super Bowl. This song is about the relationship between Kendrick and his pen representing his writing skills and in general his feelings about hip hop. And then he reveals at the end, ain't no bitch like my bitch because my bitch is my pen, revealing that the whole time his pen was actually a metaphor referring to Whitney, showing that Whitney is not only the love of his life and his right-hand man, but also his muse. I actually find this quite touching. Great song. He dropped Not Like Us on July 4th. And he dropped Let the Party Die on September 11th. And GNX get dropped on the 22nd of November, near Thanksgiving. And in general, Kendrick is a spring dropper. So I would estimate that the second half of GNX, assuming that it is coming, will probably maybe come out like in Easter, you know. So that's what I'm estimating, an album in Easter. I think this is a really good album. I was super happy with its release. I can't wait to see what's next. I also think this album was a smart business move to give a bunch of smaller LA rappers a chance to rhyme and make some fire stuff, especially when you're trying to build a label. It's good to start collaborating. Lil Wayne finally gets a hold of the album, I guess, 2 hours later and gets hurt by what Kendrick said. Kendrick didn't really call you out, brother. He just said that, you know, he feels like he let you down. Kendrick releases his Squabble Up music video. Kendrick's new music videos remind me of like Atlanta, the way they're surreal and people are being serious. Meanwhile, crazy stuff is going on all around, and they're just acting like it's normal. Kendrick seems to be hinting at a double album. He references Isaac Hayes' Black Moses. He references Nate Dogg G-Funk Classics, and both those are double albums. There's a Soul Train board there with people looking like they just came out of the 70s, and there's a Latin phrase on the board which says Omnia est aliquid, which means everything is something. What I think he's trying to say here is that everything has meaning. All the little references and everything's deliberate with him, is obviously what I think he's trying to point out. The set of the music video seems to reference the Roots music video. Questlove, head drummer for the Roots, did say during the beef that nobody won the war when talking about the Kendrick versus Drake beef. There's Little Boy in there, which is a reference to Menace to Society. The Pan-African flag appears. This could be a nod to Ebony Prince, or it could just be Kendrick sending a pro-black message, which is very on brand for Kendrick. This whole music video is like a Cali love letter. Kendrick, at the end of the video, puts up this banner that says Compton Christmas Parade. Essentially, Kendrick is going to perform for the kids. All you had to do is show up with a toy, wrapped, unwrapped, anything, just something for the kids, or $2. I think that they said the minimum was $2, and you could get in and watch. Apparently during this beef, Drake was in contract negotiations. And I'm assuming they're not going well. Drake is claiming that UMG promoted Not Like Us in order to bring down Drake's value so the negotiations would be more favorable for them. Essentially saying that UMG botted streams and gave whatever help they could to make Drake look bad. I don't think Not Like Us is botted more than any other song. I heard the Pop Out concert. Everyone was singing that song word for word. And I was actively alive during the summer of 2024, okay? I heard that song literally everywhere. Personally, I just feel like this makes Drake look bad. It makes him look like a sore loser. And honestly, I think that's a position that he's willing to be in because I think he is trying really, really hard to not have Not Like Us performed at the Super Bowl. I literally think he's doing whatever he can to try and make sure that does not happen. I went to New Ho King. Bruh, they're running a racket over there. I'm like, all right, I'm already in Toronto. Let me go try that Kendrick meal. You know, I just thought it was a dip sauce with some fried rice. So I go up to the chick. I say, hey, let me get the Kendrick meal. You know, the lady working up there. She says, that'll be $200. I said, what? She said, yeah, the Kendrick meal, you know, fried rice, wings, beef and broccoli, crab rangoon, General Tao chicken, sweet and sour chicken. She was listing. And I said, halt. Hey, sorry, but I don't need 17 meals. Can I just get the wings and the fried rice? And she, you know, she hooked it up for me. And I was like, damn, people really are so into this beef that they're spending 2 Benjamins on some Chinese food. The food was mid or whatever, you know. Food was whatever. It was chill. It was slim. It was whatever. Okay, so Drake's top op list comes out. 50 Cent brings it out in a Big Boy interview.
Oh no, it's the same thing that you see Drake experience. How did he just have? This is the op page. He was just winning consistently more than everybody else in the culture, and then these people start to turn into people that feel like they're ops all over the page, babe. Because they keep watching them win. And then you go, I want this thing forever, man.
Right.
I'm not sure you can have it forever.
Right.
Not forever.
This guy's like a fragile op, but it's a good song, though. You know?
It's a fragile op. Okay, interesting.
It's like a fragile op, but it's a good song, though.
Okay, so what does that mean, a fragile op? No.
Chat knows what I'm talking about.
Hilarious. Then there's the Drake lookalike concert. Bruh, this shit's Garrett and sucking dick. Apparently, girl Drake won, but the girl Drake doesn't even look like Drake to me. She looks like Pop Smoke. This is so funny because there used to be a Drake impersonator that would go around to places pretending to be him, and Drake was not a fan of that guy at all. I hope that guy was at least invited because he really started all this shit.
In the whole world, look around you. Look at this. We created this. This didn't exist before we were here. Look around at the square. I promise you right now, we did this. Doesn't matter what anybody says. They can say it's disrespectful.
And like, they weren't just trying to look like Drake. They were trying to like legitimately be like Drake. Like, one of them started performing and singing. One of them was like walking in, pretending to be like Drake and shit. I'm happy they had fun. SZA, after much hoopla, fires her manager and drops her deluxe album. I like it. Big SZA fan. It adds more songs to Kendrick and her's shared catalog. And every time they team up, it's a banger. That song 30 for 30 is so fire. Maybe there's a Drake diss on there. You fucking when niggas are thinking they cuter than you. But I think the landscape has just changed so much that it doesn't matter anymore. Every song that Drake drops and every song that Kendrick drops the rest of their lives is going to be perceived as a diss towards one another, even if it isn't. The market has just changed. Kendrick is named Pop Star of the Year. Congrats to him. This was really hard work, but I just think it's funny because he doesn't make pop music at all. Like, his music is popular, but if you compare it to pop singers, it isn't like those at all. Tyler drops That Guy. Merry Christmas. I think Kendrick is trying to bring back like an LA sound and give like regional music sort of back to Cali. So shout out to Tyler for like hopping on the song and kind of showing love to support to Kenny. He even rapped, "You see me at the pop out."
Little bunny hop out, you see me at the pop out.
Which is funny because the one time that Drake went to Camp Flog Gnaw, he got booed out. To be fair, it's not his fault. They were, for whatever reason, thinking Frank Ocean was going to be there, but he did get booed.
I'm here for you tonight. If you want to keep going, I will keep going tonight. What's up? If you want to keep going, I will keep going tonight. Well, look, it's been love. I love y'all. I go by the name of Drake. Thank you for having me.
I'm sure Drake's got a little tension there. For Christmas, Kendrick decided to perform a concert for his hood.
Come on, my young.
At the Nickerson Garden Projects and the Compton Christmas Parade. Drake decided to spend it streaming with Aiden Ross. There's not much here. There's a little teasing.
The Drake charisma, and it's always fuck. Oh, I'm not reading that. Please.
He did say that he pitched a God's Plan charity TV show idea to Amazon, which is very funny considering Amazon produced the Pop Out concert.
I asked Jeff Bezos, no disrespect to Jeff Bezos, but the word I got back was that he didn't want to do it. I want to do God's Plan, a TV show, go 10 places a year, right? And link with people who have an insane amount of money who have been blessed, and I want to like shoot that episode with them, and that was all I wanted to say. If anyone wants to do the God's Plan show, I'm ready.
Back and forth there, but there wasn't really anything there. And right here will be the DJ Akademiks section of the video, since that dude is a colossal clown. Ak, in the years I've known you and about your existence, you've only gotten fatter and stupider. Livingston, you have to quit beet juice. You need to shut the fuck up. You are in no way seen as a real rap commentator anymore because your biases and ridiculous behavior have put it so there's no credibility in anything you say. Ak is over here telling what's the dirt. If you want media advancement, you need to suck off Kendrick.
If you want to pick career advancement, you got to shit on Drake. Shit on Drake and suck Kendrick off. Pause.
Brother, that isn't even true. What you need to do is show an understanding and knowledge of the culture while giving an appropriate take. Just say what's happening with logic and reason. And I'm not saying I'm a better YouTuber than Ak or What's the Dirt and I'm like trying to stand on my horse or anything. I'm saying this as someone who knows what they like to watch. And I fucking hate watching Ak. And I'm not just pulling this out of my ass. Before you were on Drake's payroll on Everyday Struggle, I actually liked your commentary. I did not always agree with it, but I actually liked it. Before you were on payroll, you were fucking honest. You sat on stream and tried to say Drake had 6 classics.
Take Care, So Far Gone, Nothing Was the Same. That's 3. This is a classic, okay? Then we're going to throw If You're Reading This Too Late, and then we have to throw for the 5th. What are we throwing for the 5th? We're throwing Scorpion. Oh, View's a classic. What the fuck? Oh, this shit's a classic. So Drake got 6 classics.
Before, you said Drake had no classics, Kendrick had 4 classics, and that Drake was scared of Kendrick.
I think all these are classics. like the niggas just puts. It's just his shit is amazing.
Yeah.
Drake scared of Kendrick. Let me get my direct questions out the way.
Yes. I'm not considering that Drake has any unilateral classics that would be seen by the culture.
Ooh wee! Look what that money make a bitch do.
Now that OVO check is cleared, you sit in your room and lie and say Drake has 6 classics. Look, I'm not saying he doesn't have any classics. I'm not here to debate that right now. But you went from saying he had no classics to saying he had 6 classics. Like, what has gotten into you? And when it's time to hop on a live stream, he never calls you. The fact that he's been on XQC streams before yours is crazy. I like XQC. What the fuck does he know about rap? And now he's been on Aiden Ross's stream for Christmas to give stuff away. All this dick sucking and you don't even know what Drake smells like. He's been on 2 streams before getting on your 1 stream. During this whole beef, you were Drake's #1 soldier, #1 dick rider, #1 bullshit guy. And you couldn't even get tickets to a show. 21 Savage had to do it. Drake ignores you when he does not need you and uses you when he does.
You deemed that nigga for tickets to a concert. He 21 Savage had to get you them. Act this shit like that.
He didn't see it. He didn't see it.
Now, Act, he see everything else you said to him. Now all of a sudden he didn't see it. Act, he's treating you like you like how when a thoughts in a DM.
Stop.
Oh, I ain't trying to link her tonight. Keeping the book.
That don't make him a fuck nigga, bro. Like that.
Act that does though. Act that does, cause when he needs you, he'll send you DMs. He'll play old buddy with you, but he really don't fuck with you. That's why niggas are treating Drake like this, cause he's a fuck nigga. How you showing him mad love? He don't show you no love. Do you think Drake shows you love?
Drake showed me a lot of love.
How? What's he do to show you love?
I got exclusive info.
Act, that's not love. What do you do with that exclusive info? You say it to the world, you gas it up 10 times more. He's using you as a free a billboard, free promo. Showing you love is, yo, Act, I'm in the city. Here's 10 tickets to my show. Backstage, pull up. Yo, Act, pull up to the I got the OV. He sent Ice Spice a jet before he sent you one.
It's the same shit a lot of people complain about with Drake. I don't even know if you should be talking about streams because your #1 stream song is Not Like Us. Meanwhile, you're over here talking about how that song was botted. It got an unfair #1, yada, yada. You're the reason for that. You are one of the reasons for that song's success.
Oh, shit. Hell no, y'all not getting that screenshot out of me. Fuck out of here. Oh, shit, I did show it. Nah, Not Like Us was my #1. I ain't gonna lie to you. It was. Not Like Us, Bent, Euphoria, Family Matters, and Push-Ups. I don't even know how it was #1, but fuck it. It was #1, though, for real. I will say it's the bots. I'm blaming it on the bots. I'm blaming it on the bots. I'm blaming it on the bots. It's number one. I don't know what the fuck.
And I don't even think that you're too stupid to realize it. I just think you've lost all objectivity. He releases his Fighting Irish freestyle. The Fighting Irish was LeBron's team when he was in high school. It seems as though Drake is rapping at LeBron James now. It was obvious that Drake was really unhappy that LeBron was enjoying the Not Like Us song and that he went to the Pop-Out concert. Look, Drake, I'm sorry that you're like the last to realize this, but what you need to realize about LeBron James is like his super chronic flaw, his enormous flaw, is that LeBron James always wants to be liked. That's why he lies so fucking much. He lives in LA. He plays for an LA team. He saw you getting your ass whooped. I'm not surprised that he team hopped at all. It's what he does. LeBron is a well-known team hopper. Now Ak is starting to push propaganda for Drake, saying that they slept with the same girls and LeBron has been cheating on his wife and Drake used to help LeBron cheat on his wife.
Maybe Drake will keep teasing it. Let me just tell you what I've heard. Yo, LeBron, you and Drake used to go on two-mans, okay? You've been cheating on your goddamn wife. Drake used to facilitate the host.
Fucking crazy angles that they're going with now. Remember that petition I talked about earlier? Drake actually pulled out of that petition and decided to file a full defamation lawsuit against UMG, demanding a jury trial, claiming that released, promoted, and mobilized a song in a way that put Drake's life and livelihood in danger. This is the most Karen fucking nonsense I've ever fucking seen. Essentially, Drake is saying due to bots, algorithmic manipulation, and influencers reacting to the song, it got more play than it should have and damaged his career image. Drake is saying he has proof that 30 million streams were botted. Okay, firstly, Drake, if you took 30 million streams away from Not Like Us, it would still have 1 billion streams. Secondly, the botting that you're referring to seems to be that guy that Ak caught on a stream back in June, and that nigga was clearly lying. He said 5K for a #1 hit song. So for 5K, you can have the #1 song in the country. And when you look up the LLC that he supposedly got paid from, you see the LLC is not real. And for you to complain about streamers is fucking insane. You're the one that told Kai Cenat to stay on stream and play that Family Matters track. You know, the track where you said Kendrick beats his wife? Drake listed like 4 million streamers in this documentation, saying that all of them were detrimental to his downfall. Like, bro, wah. You made it seem like you were just minding your business, and then Kendrick dropped all these songs on your head. You said plenty of stuff about him too. I just feel like Drake is taking actions that only make this worse for him. He's thinking, how can I go out like an even bigger bitch? And this is another thing that people need to realize. Kendrick's streams are the only one, or not the only person's streams who increased during this beef. Drake, your streams also increased during this beef. The lawsuit also mentions the Super Bowl again, which I think is the real cause for all of this. I think he really, really does not want this song to be played at the Super Bowl, and he's blaming UMG, and he's trying to get UMG to not have that happen. Kanye talked about how in his song, in his Like That remix, that Drake would commonly go to UMG and complain about stuff and make Lucien, the owner of UMG, have stuff happen in the back end.
If you listen to all the disses, Drake doesn't really go at Future.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know why?
Mm-hmm.
Future is not signed to UMG or anybody. Future is signed to Sony. So Future can say Future and Kanye can say whatever they want.
He said Drake don't say nothing to Future or Kanye because they not signed to UMG. So Drake can't run to UMG and say, can you tell them to stop when it goes too far?
And I'm starting to think that that is true. And that the reason why he's coming out with these lawsuits is because Drake said, hey, I want you to do something about this. Lucien said, bro, I'm not doing anything about this. You were also going back and forth, or whatever Lucien's reason was for not doing anything about this. So then Drake said, all right, then I'm going to sue you. I just don't get how this guy can be such a bitch. Like, brother, your dick is enormous. You'll be fine. How is it you can have an enormous cock, tons of money, and still be such an insecure person? It is so crazy to me. If I was Drake and all this happened, I'd be sitting at my house happy and quiet. I would take a break from the industry and be like, all right, you guys run it now. I'm going to go raise my kid. I'm going to go do whatever and beg for them to have you come back because that's what would happen. People would miss you. Blou drops a diss track on Drake because Drake decided to mention him in the lawsuit. And he calls him a certified pussy boy and says that he's going out sad. All very accurate.
Niggas be going outside, certified pussy boy, we know he mad.
SZA, Super Bowl commercial is announced, so SZA's going to be the guest performer at the Super Bowl.
Now I've been thinking about a guest performance.
They have like 8 songs together and they're going on tour with each other, so it all makes sense. This is all great. I think this is going to kind of lead into SZA maybe one day performing her own Super Bowl. Oh, how do I have to talk about this? Okay, the academic grooming allegations. They're not really allegations. It's hard to call them allegations because the audio's literally there. He was talking to a 15-year-old boy. He's saying, you wouldn't let your bro go inside you. He was talking to him about sex. Look, all this is... all of it's very heinous. I'm tired of talking about academics. Thankfully, he received a ban.
I've been in the game 15 years. They've tried every way to get rid of me. Like, I'm just here, so.
Well, you can tell everybody. Yeah, you can tell everybody.
So maybe we can finally move on from his existence. Literally, while I was working on this, a lawsuit has just come up. 2 anonymous women who worked at TDE in 2019 are claiming that Brandon Tiffith and Anthony Musa Tiffith have displayed sexual behaviors, like sexual harassment behaviors towards them. And then another employee, David Harrell, was accused of giving a woman a spiked drink. The verbiage is a little bit weird, so I don't know if they mean it was an alcoholic drink that was spiked with drugs or if it was a juice type drink that had alcohol put in it, because it says that at the time of this, the woman was underage. If this is true, this is terrible, obviously. The timing of this just seems a little too opportune to happen the same week that Kendrick is supposed to be performing. It feels like it could be Bubkiss. But I've talked shit about the stuff that Drake's had going on. So out of fairness, I'm putting this in and I'm talking shit about this. If this is true, this is bad. But my other problem is that the Drake stans are coming in and saying that this means that the Super Bowl halftime show should be canceled and that Kendrick is at fault because while he worked there, it was swept under the rug under his knowledge. I agree that if this situation is true, it is bad. It's just the only people talking about it aren't people I trust yet. Information could come out. That would be great. That would be amazing. But I still feel like this has nothing to do with Kendrick. And for it to happen 2 days before the Grammys on a Friday, which is literally the last business day before the Grammys, it just seems a little fishy to me. However, again, if this is true, not good for TDE. The 67th annual Grammys. Bro, okay, not like us won 5 Grammys for a single song. Do you understand that Drake only has 5 Grammys total? Oh my God, this is so good. Drop, 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 right? All that shit you were talking. Or were we talking about Akademiks, Drake in 5?
Drake in 5!
Kendrick just got 5. A diss song being nominated for a Grammys isn't that unusual. Back to Back was also nominated for a Grammy all the way back in 2016. Know who he lost to? Kendrick. Honest to God, Drake can't stop losing. Is it still all bots? Huh? Is it still all bots? He just won 5 Grammys. Is it still all bots? Even the crowd was singing. The Grammy crowd. 70-year-old grandmothers were out there singing that song. Did they pump in fake crowd noise or something? Was that what happened? Or do people actually just like this song and want to hear this song outside? It won every category it was nominated for, bro. Broom season. Even Mustard on stage said, get the brooms out. I was on a Delta flight watching the Grammys and I was laughing my ass off. This breaks the record for the most Grammys for a singular rap song. Do I think Kendrick deserved all 5 Grammys? Song of the Year, Record of the Year, Performance of the Year, for sure. All 3 of those, he deserved them, without a doubt. I'm actually a big music video fan, so recently it's been kind of sad to see people not taking visuals as seriously as they used to. To be honest, I think all the music videos in this category were good. ASAP's one was actually really cool. I hope that director gets a chance and gets to do more videos because I liked ASAP's. I know ASAP was sad about it, but I think he'll get another chance to win one in the future. So while I think it could have gone to any of them, I think there was only one music video that everyone was waiting on, everyone was excited to see. So I don't think it was a bad pick at all. Now, best rap song. Typically, when you get a song award, it's like a songwriter's award. Like, the songwriting was exquisite on it. But the thing with best rap song is there isn't a best rap song and a best rap record, meaning that best rap song holds both the production into account as well as the lyrical ability and lyrical quality of the song. And the reason why I mentioned production is because the production on Like That is so insane. And while I'm not mad at Not Like Us winning, because Mustard really did his shit on that song, and that beat is crazy, like it literally immediately gets you into the vibe. But I do want to mention that Like That had amazing production, and I think it certainly could have taken the award. However, Like That wasn't like crazy in lyrical content, but Not Like Us also wasn't insane in lyrical content. If I were Kendrick and I was putting up a best rap song, I probably would have put Euphoria. Like, the Like That beat was so insane, I could not believe it when I first heard it. Not mad at all at Not Like Us winning, I just wanted to start a little dialogue on that. So I feel like there's this Kendrick effect when it comes to the Grammys, and here's what I mean. The Grammys really fucked up not giving Good Kid Mad City a Grammy, and instead giving it to Macklemore. It got so much backlash on that, and rightfully so. That's a top 10 album of all time. It started a major campaign where people wanted how Grammys were picked and voted on and everything to be reevaluated immediately. And I'm not saying that Kendrick doesn't deserve every Grammy that he has, but what I am saying is that the Grammys don't want to ever get it wrong again. Grammys, get your lawyers together. You're up next. G-Man, yeah, that's me. That's what I thought when I first saw this outfit, but it turns out that this, again, is a double entendre, because a full jean jacket is called a Canadian tuxedo. And then the icing on the cake is that Diana Ross presented him his award for Song of the Year. And Diana Ross starred in the movie Wiz, which is where Richard Pryor says, "Everything they say about me is true," which is what he used on Euphoria.
Everything they say about me is true. I'm a phony.
Man, Kendrick's life is literally poetry. This is such a crazy historical event for him to win 5 Grammys for one song. This is such a crazy historical event. And I'm going to explain this by comparing it to other songs that have also won a similar amount of Grammys. A Taste of Honey by Herb Alpert and the Tijuana Brass is a fully instrumental track that has 5 Grammys. It won 4 Grammys back at the 9th Grammys and then won 1 Grammy at the 5th Grammys. So while the song by itself has 5 Grammys, the people who recorded, performed the song, they split their Grammys between 1 and 4. And that happened back in 1966. There were only like 2 radio channels back then and 7 songs that existed. And this song only kind of tied Kendrick because while it has the same amount, it is split between 2 different Grammy events. So technically, Kendrick won more than them in a single Grammy event. In 1967, Frank Sinatra was nominated for 5 Grammys but only won 4. Even Frank effing Sinatra couldn't tie Kendrick. Even Michael Jackson with his song We Are the World was only able to win 4 Grammys. And the music video for it was just them in the studio recording the song. So it wasn't like an insane music video or anything. Like, are you guys starting to understand how crazy this is? Frank Sinatra and Michael Jackson still have only been able to win 4 in a single year. Now, the only song to actually beat Kendrick is the song Up, Up, and Away by The Fifth Dimension. Now, The Fifth Dimension at the 10th Grammys won 5 Grammys for this song. Look, man, all I'm saying is you were playing against plumbers and firemen back then, okay? Although, to be fair to this track, it wasn't even eligible for things such as Best Music Video, Best Song for Visual Media, stuff like that. I wasn't able to win those awards. Those awards didn't exist back then. So 5 Grammys, still insane. Respect to all 5 of the dimensions. What puts this song over is the additional one that it won from the John Mann Singers, who won it for their chorus rendition of the song. So while this song has 6 Grammys, it only has 5 come from the original creator and 1 from a chorus. However, it did all happen at one event show, but the original creator is still only tying Kendrick at 5 for one event. So the max amount that a person can win themselves at a Grammy is 5. So this is what puts in the technicality of it being the only rap song, the most amount of Grammys at one event. The person who had this record previously was Childish Gambino. He won 4 Grammys, but this song was not nominated for Best Rap Song. So had it been nominated for Best Rap Song, it could have won 5. Silk Sonic also won 4. However, the reason I don't really count Silk Sonic as much is because one of their Grammys is a tie. So I would say that it goes to Childish Gambino, who has 4 uncontested Grammys. Okay, so I said all that to say, this means the only song that has more Grammys than the song that Kendrick Lamar created was a song made in 1960s. And the Grammys are still split between 2 groups. I say all this to say, statistically, this is the most glazed song of all time. They did do a shout out to Quincy Jones. Quincy Jones did die this year. He has 28 Grammys, and that's the most for a single producer. And the only people that have more Grammys than him, period, are Beyonce and Sir Golg Salty. Drake fans were in shambles. It was magnificent. They were saying that, once again, this is all because of Drake. It's insane to me, all the credit that they give him, even though he lost. It's like, no matter what, it's a win for him. Because if Kenny had gone up there and not won a single Grammy, they would have been laughing, right? They would have been saying, see, bought his dreams, fake, all that, right? So no matter what happened on that night, that you guys were going to spin it. You do realize, in 2015, he was nominated for 11 Grammys. The only person that's been nominated for more Grammys was Michael Jackson, with 12 Grammys.
I did a little research, and Michael Jackson holds the record with 12 nominations.
Yeah.
You almost had the same amount of nominations as Michael Jackson for Thriller.
The legend. I wouldn't want to go past that, though.
No.
No.
But what if you had 13?
No. I take back. I can't fathom being as great as Michael without putting out the work.
Now, was 2015 also because of Drake? Look, man, Kendrick is not the first person to diss Drake, and he definitely won't be the last person to diss Drake. If any other rapper would have dissed Drake, they probably wouldn't have won 5 Grammys. Honestly, they probably wouldn't have won the battle. Drake has been dissed by Meek Mill, Pusha T, A$AP Rocky, Rick Ross. How many of those guys have Grammys for their diss records? And he had 17 Grammys and a Pulitzer Prize before the beef. Ice, one of Joe Budden's goons on this podcast, posted a picture of a red button after this. Posted that red button picture that Drake posted before, back during the beginning of the beef. Where Drake fans are so down, Drake fans are so down right now. But like, what the fuck did you think was gonna happen? This was the biggest song of the year. Then Ice was saying, oh, well, I can't say much else, which kind of confirms to me that UMG is continuing to hold stuff back and keep this beef from going any further. Which is kind of continuing to push the theory that UMG is the one holding everything back and keeping the hush on Kendrick and Drake. Look, assuming the red button is real, don't push it. Don't drop that shit.
Y'all niggas don't believe me. I got some yellow cake right here. Look, you see, you believe this shit now? Don't drop that shit. I know what to do with it. So I got it wrapped up in this special CIA napkin.
Don't drop that shit. Yeah.
Then hope I don't drop this shit.
Pray to God you don't drop that shit.
Yellow cake.
Drake, you're talking about don't push me when I'm in album mode. Okay. Kendrick is in Grammy mode. Kendrick is in Super Bowl mode. Kendrick is in album mode. Okay? Kendrick is 3 modes up on you right now. And then the Drake fans were getting weird. They were calling out Billie Eilish. They were making fun of her because she didn't win anything. I actually do feel a little bad for her because I really liked her album. I think that they could have at least swung her one award, you know? I know Billie's probably sitting back at home like, this is the album that I was like super vulnerable on and it didn't win a single thing. But they were like calling her out because she was crying when she lost to Beyonce, but she was clapping and happy for Kendrick when Kendrick won. Bruh, that was Song of Everything. She loves that song too. It was obvious that that was gonna win some awards. No one was up there baffled like, oh, I can't believe this is happening right now. Bro, the cope is just at an all-time high for Drake fans right now. Literally every post on my timeline is just Drake fans hating on shit, which really makes me think it's bots because it does not match real life at all. Aubrey's Angels don't even seem to exist outside of Twitter. And Twitter is, I would say, the app that has the biggest bot problem. And I honestly don't feel like that's a coincidence, which has got me thinking maybe this is where this like delusion comes from Drake and Drake fans, because this is what my timeline looks like. And I don't follow Drake. I don't follow any Drake fans or Drake stans, nothing like that. And that's my timeline. So imagine what their timeline looks like. They're probably all just gaslighting themselves in like a giant hug box because they're all just sniffing each other's farts. In all fairness to Drake, I will mention that it is a little funny that Drake starts a lawsuit with UMG and then AK reports that Drake will no longer be getting additional assistance or whatever he said.
The word on the street is that when Drake drops next, They're going to humble him. I promise you, I've talked to them all. They say they're going to humble him, and not humble him by doing anything like crazy or weird. They're going to humble him because the things they claim they've done for him, they will never do. We're going to show him what we were doing for him on a label level, what we were doing for him on a playlist level, radio level, and all the bells and whistles, because he's going to see.
And then 2 weeks later, Kendrick wins 5 Grammys and Lucien is seen high-fiving Dr. Dre. But then again, even if this is a conspiracy, whose fault is that, Drake? You're the one who decided to start a lawsuit with the people that own 70% of all the music. Again, I'm not saying Kendrick didn't deserve these Grammys. He did. This is the first time I've seen an artist with like label struggles, and it actually isn't the label's fault. Now, I've given a pro Drake theory, right? I've given a pro Kendrick theory. Here's my pro Grammys theory. This beef is probably the biggest thing that's happened to music in the last 20 years. If I'm glazing, 50 years. And Grammy viewership is dropping and ratings are dropping. So how do you combat that? Make your show part of the beef. Give Kendrick everything. And then give everyone another moment to talk about. I do now wonder what Drake is going to do about the Grammys. Because he's been mad at everyone who even like breathes that song. So now I wonder how he feels about the program that just gave that song 5 awards. Like, is he going to be mad at the Grammys now? Is he just never going to submit his song to the Grammys again? Like, oh yeah, that'll show him.
Back home smoking legal. I got more slaps than the Beatles.
And finally, you know, I'm getting older in my middle age, and I just wanted to give some advice to the young people out there. Never get into a rap battle with Kendrick Lamar. Thank you.
Drake and Party Next Door announced an album on Valentine's Day. They put the album trailer for this. Rumor is that Drake will be releasing it on Sony. I'll never understand this victim mentality when he released Family Matters first. Was UMG supposed to just take down Not Like Us and leave up Family Matters? Even business-wise, that doesn't make sense. And he announces this literally right after the Grammys, right after Kendrick wins 5. Drake has this concert in Australia. The only reason I'm even talking about this concert is because Drake is forcing me to. The day after the Grammys, during his concert in Australia, he came out wearing a hoodie with bullet holes in it and smoke. Bruh, if I sat down and thought about the corniest thing I could do, and you gave me 100 years to think, I would never come up with bullet hole hoodie. It's so fucking corny. And it doesn't look like the smoldering of bullets or anything. It looks like you're getting cooked. Then he posted online that he wasn't going to forgive anyone. Then he also changed the lyric in the song that he was singing about LeBron. Like, I swear to God, Drake does not act like a 30-year-old man. The Super Bowl. This is the event that everyone's been waiting for. And Drake has been putting so many lawsuits forth to avoid. To be honest, I personally feel that we love Not Like Us more than Kendrick does. And I'm not even sure he really wants to perform it. But this year, the song has had so much success charting, it would be malpractice to not perform it. And here's my reason why I think they picked Kendrick for the Super Bowl. Kendrick is by far not only the hypest option, but the cheapest option. The halftime show is free. Artists don't get paid. They get paid in exposure. But what the Super Bowl does pay for is the marketing of the halftime show. With Kendrick, they don't have to do any marketing. And his songs are at the top. He's the hottest rapper in the world right now and just spent the summer promoting himself. All they had to do was 2 commercials that Kendrick posted on his Twitter. And I think, honestly, Kendrick might have filmed them. They were very PG Lang style. And in my opinion, this is, even with the few amount of money they've spent on marketing, this is still the most anticipated halftime show of the last 8 years, at least. He started off with the intro song that we did not get on GNX. Hopefully he releases the full version of that soon. He then hit Squabble Up. The choreography was fire with the whites, the blues, the reds. He hit Euphoria. He hit Humble. He did a vocal chorus version of the Man at the Garden song. Personally, it made the song better to me than the original, which I don't like that much at all. He said that he wanted to play Not Like Us, but those guys will sue.
I want to perform their favorite song, but you know they love to sue.
What song?
Yeah, that song.
And he was wearing an A minor chain. Bro, Cerillion Williams was out there crip walking. Then while playing Not Like Us, they unmuted the crowd.
You're trying to strike a chord and it's probably A minor.
And when Kendrick said Drake's name, he smiled into the camera.
Say Drake, I hate you like I'm young.
The final song that they ended on was TV Off, which makes me feel like Kendrick made the song TV Off for the full purpose of performing after Not Like Us. Because it would literally make Drake turn his TV off. It's the last song they performed. And even on the song, it says, walk into New Orleans. This was all, was this planned? After performing in a bunch of PlayStation controller symbols, he ends it by having the lights in the crowd spell, game over. Bruh, this nigga Kendrick is diabolical. Look, Drake, just be happy he didn't play Meet the Grams. There's no way when Drake was sitting down writing all those shoe size bars on push-ups that he was thinking that he would see the ending of this beef be at the Super Bowl. Oh, but I do want to say, like, I hope Drake has the knowledge to realize that everyone in the crowd also doesn't hate him, you know? Like, it's not like everyone's sitting there like, oh, yeah, let's go gather around and hate on Drake. They're just having fun. This was just purely fun. It was a fun, nice little moment for the culture. So thank you for beefing. There were a bunch of tweets I saw online about this being the worst halftime show of all time. I don't even think it's close to the worst halftime show. I really liked it. I thought it was good. There was good choreography. A lot of people are like kind of upset that he didn't play his earlier hits, but the thing is, he did play all of his main hits. His songs that streamed the highest, other than Money Trees, he played. He played All the Stars. That's a huge hit for him. He played Humble. That's a big hit for him. And he played Not Like Us, another huge hit for him. Okay, so we've kind of reached the end. The main reason for this video was honestly the OVO Drake stans, man, on Twitter. Drake fans are so fucking insufferable. You guys aren't even hip-hop fans. You guys are Drake fans. There's an extreme difference, and you're constantly showing us the difference. You guys make so many weird, racist chirps. And I honestly think this comes from people who don't know anything about being black outside of hip-hop. You know, if the only thing you know about being black is what you've learned from hip-hop. If your only hip-hop experience or your main hip-hop experience is Drake, that's going to dilute that knowledge even more. Cray had this thing where he talked about how Kendrick was a product of the culture, and Drake, amazing artist, is a fan of the culture.
But Drake is a fan of the culture. Kendrick is a product of the culture.
And what they're trying to get at is that Kendrick was born and raised within it. Drake is sort of a transplant. And it's not that Drake isn't successful and not that Drake can't make good music, but it's that Drake won't know what to say in his raps until he hears it.
You just saying the next thing that's on the radio that some rapper said. That's already mainstream.
Kendrick said whooping feet. A lot of people didn't know what that, I didn't know what that meant. I hadn't heard it where I'm from over here. But people from LA are like, oh yeah, that's a general known LA phrase.
Turn around and tell you he's Terrence Crawford. I'm whooping feet.
Yeah, you don't even know what that means.
Stimulated, like, what the fuck is that? Then
Drake doesn't have that type of verbiage to put into a song.
You're not gonna out-rap this dude, man. It's not to say you're not a fantastic rapper, but you're just not the culture. You don't even have the right words to use. You don't even have the right slang to use to make it truly engaging. You
niggas don't be listening to Drake like that. Well, if I wasn't a rapper, I don't feel like I still would listen to Drake for real. It's just a regular street nigga don't give a fuck about how many times you went #1. Like how many white people listen to your shit, because they don't even think that them niggas, the farthest they think is the club. Like in Atlanta, it's a lot of niggas who you really can't tell them Future ain't bigger than Drake.
Because that's not what he grew up around. Like, it's not even just the racist comments from Drake fans. It's a general lack in understanding of the culture and how it got into this position. I read this one tweet that said, Drake made the Atlanta rap mecca, saying he helped all of the current artists get to their positions, but no disrespect to Outkast. And that's just so categorically wrong. It's ridiculous. Outkast does not exist in a vacuum. Outkast is a part of a whole gathering of musicians called the Dungeon Family. It was actually the collaborative nature of Atlanta music that got it to where it is today. While New York was eating itself alive, fighting with everybody, and Cali was having trouble deciding who was up next, Atlanta was working together, sharpening each other, and perfecting their craft. But if you're a Drake fan, you're not paying attention to that. The first time you see Lil Baby is when Lil Baby's on a Drake song, or Drake is on a Lil Baby song. So you think he helped create this rap mecca. Like so many Drake fans were saying, since when was Kendrick everybody's favorite artist all of a sudden. Bruh, just because Kendrick hasn't been on a Drake song since 2012 doesn't mean he stopped being relevant as an artist. His last tour was the highest grossing tour at the time when it had happened. Kendrick is an enormous artist and had tons of success before all of this. So to read so many coping tweets like Kendrick should give Jake a check or he's only buzzing because of Drake. No, there's a difference. He's buzzing right now because he's cooking Drake. Y'all whine so much about the Drake effect. Okay, where's the Drake effect on his own music? Every day I see OVO heads tweeting about Family Matters, saying that Family Matters deserved Not Like Us success. If it deserved that success, then it would fucking have it. The song is good, it just wasn't good enough. And then there's this super thick level of delusion where you guys think everybody who has a problem with Drake hates him for no reason. Brother, even Nardwuar gagged him.
Do you still kiss your fans? No, I stopped that. I think there's a Button video circulating about. Yeah, I think 2009 you were kissing your fans.
The glory days, man. You know, I miss it a lot.
I have a friend who was the biggest Drake fan. She was literally gonna get an OVO tattoo and everything, but she stopped fucking with Drake. Do you want to know why? Because some of the stuff that he was doing was inexcusable. And this is actually like a bigger story. I've noticed a lot of Drake's fans have switched from being girls from like early in his career. He had a lot of fans that were girls to now it seems to be mentally unstable Twitter men. You guys are sitting in a glass house. Shit, what's more fragile than glass? Like you live in a tissue paper house. There is nothing that you can make fun of another artist for that can't be responded to by with Drake, a picture of Drake kissing a teenage girl or wearing blackface. And you guys are so sensitive. Absol made a light tweet saying, hey, it's not over for Drake. And y'all got on his head making fun of him. His discography has no streams. Like, Absol's throwing you guys a bone. He's trying to make you guys feel better and you're jumping on his head. This OVO bot epidemic is so bad, man. Even now, there's still people tweeting about the beef. And it made me think, like, niggas can't be this stupid, right? And then I realized, niggas are in fact this stupid. And the ones who aren't stupid are getting paid. People are paid for engagement on Twitter now. So you can just tweet nonsense, get lots of people on your throat, and you'll make money. So now there are two groups for this Drake shit. There's real fans, and there's people who are bought. Drake looked like he's aged heavily during this beef. I really didn't think all this shit was that serious, but he's so sad. He's even sending cease and desist to streamers.
Friends, yeah, I keep my friends on my mind. I'm in love with two girls at one time, and they 10.
Hold on, Drake. What do you mean? Bad friends, high school pics, you was even bad then. Wait, no.
This shit feel like teenage fever. No, Drake, no.
I got a cease and desist from OVO for that video. Out of the million people on the internet, he sends me a cease and desist. There's no way. Like, all I did was break down your fucking lyrics, Drake. I don't know what the problem is. Like, why are you sending me? Now I'm about to go crazy, Drake. I'm making Meet the Grapes Part 2.
Drake is handling this so poorly that it's making me proud of the way that Meek Mill handled losing to Drake. Like, Drake performed back-to-back so many times in so many places. And Meek Mill didn't freak out. Meek Mill has even freestyled on the back-to-back beat. But if you start playing the Not Like Us beat around Drake, he starts having a fucking panic attack. He can't handle those fucking horns, man. OVO 40 got into a fight at a club because a DJ played the song around them. That camp is not handling it well at all.
When I see you, look at you, you're laughing. When I see you, I'm gonna smack you in the mouth.
Smack you in the mouth.
Smack you in the mouth. He goes, I know you never liked us, which is the craziest to me. Stand the violence, but I know you never liked us. How? Why?
There's a major part you're forgetting.
What?
What about the out of the blue Free Palestine?
Oh, yeah, Free Palestine.
And I don't even hate Drake's music. I just want it to get better, and in the future, I hope that it does. Now, Mr. Kendrick. Oh, my God, man. Kendrick, you're so up, bruh. You're up right now. Kendrick, you are so up on Drake right now. Remember when I said it was a 4-0 sweep? It's more than that, man. We need a new word for sweep. It's a different word. Like if you sweep somebody 4 times or something. Like, especially since you're doing all this without doing anything. Kendrick is owning Drake just by being silent and tweeting pretty much nothing. In chess, when you beat someone 10 times in a row, it's called like adoption, which is bigger than a sweep. So I'm going to be stealing that. Congratulations, you've been adopted, Drake. Some awards I wanted to give out. Catchiest Song Award, Not Like Us. Dud Award, Tailor Made Freestyle. I don't like that song at all. It's even really hard to listen to. The Held It Down Award, I'm giving this to 21. Like, yo, what the fuck? Where is he? Did he get deported or something? I'm giving this award to 21 for how he absolutely said nothing during this whole shit, during this entire beef. He said nothing and just laid back. Congratulations, Drake. I'm giving you the Worst Light Skin Award. Your competition is Ben Simmons and that nigga that keeps bringing the tripod to Target. This award is based entirely on how soft you make us light skins look. And while I understand that being called a pedophile while the whole world sucks, what I want you to realize is that while you may have been antagonized, this was still a mercy. Kendrick said he wanted to keep it friendly. Kendrick warned you on 616, and you decided with all the dirt and narratives that exist on you that you're gonna battle him anyway. You picked a poetry fight with the only rapper in history to win a writing award for his poetry. How am I supposed to feel sorry? And then every time I start to feel a little bad for you, you do something that reminds me of why you're in this predicament in the first place. This video title is probably going to be like Kendrick's victory lap and Drake's anti-victory lap, which isn't a word, but they literally need to invent a new word for what Drake is going through right now. He's losing and keeps losing. Like, he lost a battle and then has just kept losing and been weird the whole time. And my favorite line of the whole beef that Jcole had on his song, the Stone Temple Pilots line. Don't tell anybody, but I have a small theory that Kendrick might actually be afraid of rapping with J. Cole. Okay, afraid is a big word, but they have a few songs together, but on the songs where they're together, they're not really both rapping. There's 2 songs. On the Jeezy song, and then, which people say J. Cole washed him. People say it. People say it. People speak. And then on the Black Friday remix that they did of each other's songs, where they were supposed to drop a tape together. Other than that, every time they collaborate, Kendrick's singing. Kendrick's Forbidden Fruit.
Take a little dip, oh no. Apple juice falling from my lips. Take a little sip.
Under the Sun. You know, it's just like, Kendrick, why don't you want to rap with him, buddy? Why don't you want to hop on a track with Jay Kizzy? Huh? I'm not calling you a punk or nothing, but like, how come since 2014 you haven't wanted to go bar for bar with Jay Kizzy?
He like kids, he like kids, he like kids. He like kids, he like kids, he like kids. Shut up, pedophile. 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 You bigger than myself, but it's not enough. Hey. Hey. Nope. Niggas second bad, but somebody gotta do it. Got my foot up on the gas, but somebody gotta do it. Turn this TV off, turn this TV off. Turn this TV off, turn this TV off. Turn this TV off, turn this TV off.
I know I just went through this whole rollout thing, but it's really funny about how little most of that had to do with Kendrick. Like, Kendrick had 5 tweets and I just turned it into a 28-page essay. My girl doesn't really have anything else to say about this beef, but we did have a funny conversation. I called her and said, hey, I'm at this hotel gym and I'm the only one here, and this girl walked in, saw me, and immediately walked out. So I asked her, I'm like, hey, am I like scary or something? Did I do something wrong? And she said, it's 8 o'clock at night and you were lifting in jeans. You look like an insane person. You know, she's never wrong. That girl saw me and made a business decision, and I'm not even mad at her. So to the girl I scared off in San Antonio, my bad. I hope you came back after I left and didn't give up on your workout because of me.
Double kill. Triple kill. Sharpshooter. Overkill. Killing frenzy. Kill. Tech. Kill Trocity. Kilimanjaro. Kill Catastrophe. Be the Bullet. Kill Apocalypse. Running Riot.
Way too paranoid for a threat. Hey, let's get it, bro. Motherfucker.
Of the whole